Anyway, let's watch this. The Boondocks.
To parody and criticize commercialized ideas of blackness is an inherent part of its DNA, rooted back in the comic strip. Critiquing the media for how it depicts black.
Oh shit, we got an oi bruv. We got oi fucking bruv, yeah. We got fucking oi bruv, yeah. That's right. An oi bruv. He's gonna be talking about fucking Boondocks, yeah. It's one of my favorite cartoons in one of my favorite fucking comics, yeah. Let's go.
Black people, but also in what those ideas specifically entail. You know, take Riley. Riley's one of the Boondocks' less subtle characters, and while there's a subset of people out there who can't get past his coarse language and sometimes identify with his homophobia, I mean, that's on you. But the Boondocks has a lot to say about commercialization and how it bleeds into our depiction of blackness and even our general ideas of success. Let's talk about it.
Who is they? I don't see nobody but you, nigga. I'm telling you, granddad, I know exactly how to handle this. They want to go to war, I'll take them niggas to war.
Riley, like Huey, is conceptually founded on a specific era of hip-hop, the political era of the late 80s and the gangster rap of the 90s. These are the two threads defining Huey and Riley. Hip-hop. According to Aaron, the Boondocks was always, at its core, a hip-hop strip. Huey's a product of Public Enemy, KRS-One, Brand Nubian and more, whereas Riley's a bit more Tupac, Nas, Jay-Z, you know, that kind of energy. Look, I like both for different reasons. I'm not picking favorites, but Fear of a Black Nation is one of my favorite albums of all time. So Huey's politics are very much influenced by the music Aaron consumed in his upbringing.
It's not even a question, dude. It's not even a question. It's Huey. Ridiculous. And it's also like Aaron Magruder is also, I think, more so Huey. That's why he's like that's why he's the fucking like the main character. He's more of a main character.
My political perspectives as a young adult were shaped by hip-hop's political era, which was 1987 to 1992, roughly when I was in junior high and high school. We had Public Enemy, KRS-One, X-Clan, Brand Nubian, and all these overtly political groups. It was more than that. It was actual black nationalism. It was radical.
I relate more to Riley. Yeah, we know Steve made me. Fucking 3 years in this community, dude. Yeah, we know, bro. You didn't have to say that. But did you know that it's also top of the fucking hour? And I totally forgot to run a 60-second ad break. God damn, dude. If you'd like to no longer see the ads, though, it's okay. You can subscribe for $4. Is 20% off on September, or for free with a Twitch Prime, or you can use an ad block or a VPN. There are many different ways you can avoid the ad breaks, but the ad breaks are coming. All right, they're coming right now. Okay, here's the ad now.
Socialism. There was no black leadership supplying these political ideals to the next generation, and what very few people there were, a lot of us, particularly those who grew up in the suburbs, discovered that through hip-hop. It's why Haru Otomo was a DJ. It's why Caesar was originally supposed to be an MC and a hip-hop connoisseur. It's only too bad they didn't. Hip-hop bleeds into the strip, it bleeds into the show, and it's the driving force because of how varied it is and what specifically it tackles. Riley's character, then, is a response to the gangster rap of the 90s. Aaron talks a lot about wanting to parody these things when he thought of the concept in 1993. Everything in hip-hop was street and ghetto and hard. I didn't want to be fake. There's a certain number of black people from the suburbs who really pretend like they're living in the city. It's this notion that you're only truly black if you're from the city and you're poor. He set the Boondocks in a white neighborhood because that's where I came from and that's what I knew. Riley's character is naturally a product of the media he consumes. He's a product of commercialized blackness sold to him by the media. And when you commercialize specific depictions of blackness, it serves a dual purpose. One, when you push a specific image of blackness and it's mostly negative, people are naturally going to have a negative image of black people. There's a lot of white and even non-white people that don't actually have a lot of black friends. So their only idea of blackness comes from the things they consume. And if all you consume is propaganda surrounding how ignorant and needlessly violent our culture is, that's all you're going to think of us.
You can't be the proud, noble fighter when
The irony is that when I lived in Turkey and there's no black people in Turkey, the media that was like the media that helped me understand, which is so stupid to say, I know, but it's impossible for you to comprehend this because you've never lived in a country where there's no black people. At most, you've lived in a racist country where there's segregated communities. But living in Turkey with no black people, like Aaron Magruder was really, like, he was instrumental in me understanding the African American experience. It's so dumb to fucking explain it like this. And obviously, there were still a ton of fucking what's the right word? There was a ton of areas that I did not comprehend until I actually came to America. LMAO, why are there no blacks in Turkey? Think about it. Think about it. Information gaps was what I was thinking of. Yes, by the way, thank you. I mean, I said blacks. What did some countries engage in for a very long time that increased their black population that maybe other countries did not engage in to the same degree? Think about it. Turks had black slaves. That's why I already qualified that slavery of African people was not as widespread or as commonplace in the Ottoman Empire in comparison to chattel slavery that was a driving force of the Western economy. Turks, for the most part, went after white slaves. Slavery was also different. Like, it's completely different in the Ottoman Empire than how it was in the South. First, said Greeks and Armenians were slaves. No, it was Balkans. Greeks too, and Balkans. Turks did the Armenian genocide. As far as like slavery goes, they were they heavily enslaved people in the Balkans. The Janissaries were basically Christian slaves for the army, so that's the reason why I said it's different. Because when you're a slave in Western society, you have no power, you are enslaved, and you are not seen as a human being. When you were a Janissary, you were literally elevated to the highest levels of Ottoman society. You had the opportunity to fucking engage in mass action against the empire when you felt like you weren't paid enough. HasanAbi is a famous thing. Like, they would literally take these massive fucking cauldrons full of food and they would flip them over and refuse and do like work stoppages. The devshirme program that I've talked about before would take you and parents would literally give their children. It's slavery, but also at the same time, parents would also want their children to go into the devshirme program if they were from like a fucking faraway village or a neighborhood, because a lot of the top level aristocrats and like incredibly famous people in the Ottoman Empire were literally devshirme. Janissaries formed a high military former slave class similar to Mamluks. Yeah. So, like, are you seriously trying to whitewash child slavery? No, of course not. But to consider it the same as, like, chattel slavery in the United States, it would be idiotic and ahistorical. So giving you the actual context of the different types of like child slavery and whatnot is, I think, still something you should benefit from. I'm not making an endorsement of the program itself, but I think you would understand that, like, the way that black people are being treated in the United States of America is a little different than the way that the Dev Shipment program operated, right? Slavery is still bad, immoral, abhorrent. That does not change. This chat is so dumb today. No, my chat is always dumb. The reason why we started this conversation was, why are there no black people in Turkey? There is a very, very small group of Afro-Turks in Izmir, or maybe not in Izmir, but in Ege, okay, that have been in Turkey. They've been in Turkey for many, many generations. But outside of that, there aren't, is it in Muğla? Yeah. My man out here like a slavery weeb, deep diving into the lore for chat. I mean, it's bad, but someone asked me why there weren't black people in Turkey, and I'm already fucking explaining why there wasn't black people in Turkey. And then someone talked about the slavery, chattel slavery, and someone in the chat literally said, well, Turks had black slaves too. So I'm just explaining it. I'm giving you the nitty and the gritty. Sweden has no black people doesn't mean they are not racist. I mean, I never said Turkey is not racist either. Like, I don't know why you... Bro, people are so weird. Like, you're just like... You had a whole ass fucking argument in your own head with me, I guess. And you're making a point that no one is defending. Like, you're just keep it up, brother. Just keep arguing with yourself, assuming that I'm making arguments against it or something. Yeah, but you had to change your religion, denounce your heritage, and people only wanted to send their children to serve as Janissaries, already turned Muslim, Albanians and Bosnians. Blood tax was still a thing, certainly better than what Americans did, though. Yup. That's true. Everything that you said is correct. But as I was saying, like, Mimar Sinan, the most famous architect in Ottoman Empire history is Dev Shirme. There's plenty of, like, so many of the most famous, like, people that were elevated to the highest fucking ranks of society were from that same exact program. The program of child slavery. Why are we comparing acts of slavery? I think it's interesting historically. Like, it's really fucking interesting because you would have absolutely never known that. Like, why are you fucking sad that you're learning about a new thing? It's such a strange thing to get upset about, dude. Dude, why the fuck are you teaching us shit? Fuck you, dude. What the fuck, dude? All right, let's go back to this video.
Every single time someone sees a person that looks like you on television, they're acting like a damn fool. How would they know? How would they know you're not a damn fool? You think they're gonna talk to you? Yeah, right.
2. The other purpose it serves is annihilating those political perspectives in the first place, or at least focusing them within the framework of the system. All that radical socialism, black nationalist politics, that's dangerous. That's explicitly what the COINTELPRO plan was specifically against. What essence would there be in pushing music that promotes rebellion against the system? you know, to hell with that. It's similar to why the education system doesn't explicitly tell black people about their history, outside the whitewashed liberal pacifism of Martin Luther King. There's no incentive to, because if you create a generation of black youth uneducated about their history, they're much more likely.
Bro, this dude is awesome. The storyteller is fucking dope. Whoever this person is, they're sick.
To remain docile, not rebel against it. In every sense of the word, it's conditioning. Commercial blackness is the way you act, it's the way you speak. But honestly speaking, I think it's a lot more than rampant homophobia and misogyny though. I think it's our perceived ideas of success. You get a peek into this mind frame with characters like Riley and Jasmine. But to understand this point, you need to understand the similarities between Riley and Jasmine and their perception of success.
What do you think? I think he just...
I gotta stop making fun of oi brubs and free heads. They found Gabia's body, bro. What, like, dude, what is the statement, dude? They found Gabia's body, bro. First of all, we already covered it when it first fucking, when the FBI came out with a statement. But like, how horny are you to like fucking inform me that you're like, they found Gabia's body?
ripped you off.
What, you think ponies grow on trees?
What kind of question is that? It's a large four-legged mammal.
Riley I'll get into a bit more later, but Jasmine and her family specifically tends to be used as a vehicle to facilitate the point regarding black people within the system. Tom Dubois is a play on W.E.B. Du Bois' double consciousness theory, and it bleeds into Jasmine's depiction as well. I think something people tend to misunderstand is before the much more overt ruckus, Tom Dubois was the original Uncle Tom of the series. His hatred of self is a lot more subtle than Ruckus, but it's small things like the fact that Dubois is given a French pronunciation, or his obsession with his Eurocentric heritage. All of this bleeding into his inability to help or support Jasmine, dealing with her struggles of accepting her blackness. He's a spineless Democrat who believes with enough peaceful protests and campaigning within the system, things can truly change from the better. And you see, what's interesting is, Jasmine reflects this philosophy quite well too. The block is hot is an easy target, but it illustrates perfectly a complete belief in the system at play.
You'll never get anywhere in this world without doing a fair day's work for a fair day's pay.
Jasmine, Ed's never gonna give you that pony.
She completely buys into this idea that if she plays to the system well enough, someday she'll be successful. Just like Tom Dubois believes that if he plays to the system well enough, he can make change. And where does that leave him? Tom is framed for murder and he's held captive by prisoners and abandons the kids. Jasmine ends up getting her labor exploited by Ed Wuncler, and even in the fundraiser, when Riley passes her and she reveals she sold $5,000 worth of chocolate, what's she getting? A keychain. Okay.
Aw, man, you doing that? You don't even get to keep none of the money.
Where they make the hair care product that gives people long Eurocentric hair, who clings to it? Tom and Jasmine. Their idea of success is whiteness. It's a subconscious battle that many black people go through, but in the words of James Baldwin, whiteness is a metaphor for power. There's this internalized self-hating idea that if you don't have something tied to European heritage, ideas or appearance, you are nothing. Historically, people used to try and buy whiteness just so they could be seen as equal. Irish people were victims of discrimination but assimilated into the label of whiteness as a form of protection. Theodore W. Allen took a decade to produce a book called The Invention of the White Race. The first two generations of census data in Virginia observes that there were no people that actually identified as white. The people that we now come to think of as white were defined by other factors, like the region of Europe they came from. He goes on to talk about how ancestors of European Americans started to be defined as white as a response to labor solidarity between African and European Americans in 1696. The Bacon's Rebellion. It was a multiracial rebellion against the British governor. It was only after this that European elites began issuing privileges to people based on their skin color, like privileged positions in a plantation economy, making it illegal to whip a white Christian, and even making it illegal for a black person to own and employ a white person. Because while white people don't have a monopoly on oppression, and hierarchies run by people other than white people exist with very similar features, it doesn't remove from the fact that whiteness from its inception in slave colonies was a supremacist identity, completely founded on what it was not. When white nationalists come through and they start talking about protecting whiteness, it's about maintaining the white supremacist power structure, whether they realize it or not. Don't get it twisted, whiteness is a metaphor for power. Pro-black doesn't mean anti-white, no, it kind of does. And those that don't recognize that don't have a firm idea of what whiteness historically truly means. Money whitens, therefore poverty darkens. And when you're talking about money, it's really difficult to ignore a character like Riley.
Oh shit. Wait, hold on. And that's precisely how And that's precisely why, like, white nationalists are able to fucking hide their their nefarious agenda under the auspices of whiteness by turning around and talking about how, like, well, black people can do black power, why can't we do white power? Well, it's different. Like, blackness as a concept is one that was built in exclusion, one that was built out of necessity, a collective identity, especially like African Americans, black culture. White people know where the fuck they're from. A lot of black people don't, you know, because they were robbed of that. Something I always bring up regularly whenever people try to fucking have this conversation about, like, reverse racism or whatever the fuck.
Riley's a lot different, but adheres to many similar ideas. Riley's imitation isn't of white people, but the often derogatory image corporations push of blackness. It comes with hypermasculinity, it comes with homophobia, but it also comes with this desire for money and power for the sake of social mobility. Jasmine and Tom Dubois imitate whiteness overtly, in name, in appearance, and specifically in their desire to work for white people. Give their labor to the system. Riley doesn't want to work for anyone, he wants to own it. And on paper, this isn't inherently problematic. Wanting to own your own work isn't a problem. You see a lot of how Riley would operate in this context in The Fundraiser. When he achieves this level of success, Riley doesn't forget about his family. He doesn't neglect his friends or the people who got him to where he was.
I love to see my niggas on TV shining, cause when they shine, I shine. Sorta.
Even Huey, despite being the one doubting all his plans and ideas, is a small detail, but in the scene before the car blows up, you can see Riley bought him a new jacket. It's not just about success, it's about elevating those around you with your success. Supposedly. But say when this kid comes in, attacked and covered in chocolate, what does Riley do? I mean, who cares? Deal with it. Let's get back to making money. Those hair care products might blow up people's heads, but hey, you know, we're making money. We got money to make. He completely neglects the people working under him and the people that might be exploited as a consequence of his own action. It doesn't matter to him, he's making money. And while Riley isn't seeking whiteness as overtly as characters like Jasmine and Tom Dubois, his pursuit of power quietly does speak to it. Let's compare this to something on a larger scale, which the Boondocks has openly criticized.
That's why this is one of the best shows ever created, because it's just completely diametrically opposed to capitalism and follows along the famous Fred Hampton quote of you cannot defeat racism with black capitalism. You can only defeat it with socialism. I butchered that, but
BET. The BET episodes of the Boondocks openly criticize the network for exploiting black people, and thus having a negative impact on their perception of themselves and the perception white people have on them.
You expect white television to portray black people a particular way. I guess the anger comes from black television portraying us a particular way. That brings out a different sense of frustration. And I think at the heart of these episodes is that frustration.
The BET is an example.
I don't think I've ever seen that episode. What the fuck? The BET episode is banned? You know, I had the UMDs for this and the Chappelle Show. I had the fucking UMDs for those were the two shows. Those are the two only TV shows that I had UMDs for my PSP. Yeah, that's right, dude. Chatters are like, what the fuck's a UMD? Yeah. Exactly. I have it downloaded and can upload it to Google Drive if you want. Yeah, I would love to watch it. Someone said it's still on HBO Max. The BET episode 2. And the one about Tyler Perry too, really?
Of how effectively a black capitalist can exploit black people. It's reprehensible because it completely takes advantage of its audience. There's a limited amount of spaces where black people can actively support black people, something with black faces that's genuinely black owned. Hey, well, I mean, that one might not even be true. But the point I'm making by comparing these facets of blackness is how they all seek power through monetary gain in one way, shape or form. For him, the black man, there is only one way out, and it leads into the white world. Whence his constant preoccupation with attracting the attention of the white man, his concern with being powerful like the white man, his determined effort to acquire protective qualities. That is the
Bro, watching Boondocks with this white ass chat just be prepared for STUNLOCKS? I don't think so. I think Boondocks is like good as fuck for a white ass chat to watch. I mean, dude, I'm Turkish. You know, that was like a important introduction for me for black culture. That's what got me interested, you know? Yo, don't share media like that through the drive, bro. Tell this chatter. Why not? I don't know. Oh, are they fucking tracking it? The guy who runs this channel describes himself as black socialist. Oh god. I'm scared to scroll down on his fucking timeline and then see him fucking shitting all over me like, yo, this guy's racist as fuck. Fuck this guy. Fucking piece of shit. I hate him. You know what I mean? The fuck with the barbs, yeah. Yeah, he's dope. I love this video. I love it a lot. It's really cool.
The proportion of being, or having that which enters into the composition of an ego. It is from within that the Negro will seek admittance into the white sanctuary. Ego withdrawal as a successful defense mechanism is impossible for the Negro. He requires a white approval. But I'm essentially communicating that this rationalization of human suffering is often done through this end. It's not as overt, but as long as the people around you and the people you like are happy, then apparently, look, none of that.
Buying a house that big was kind of a Riley move, not gonna lie. Oh my god, shut up.
That shit matters. Maybe some white people will see it and maintain big-eared opinions about black people. Who cares?
Okay, maybe I have a little bit of Riley in me too. Okay.
It makes money. Maybe some straight people will hear the language and perpetuate the cycle of homophobia. Who cares? People find it entertaining. It sounds powerful in my music. The ways in which we rationalize exploitation and blur the lines between strategy and exploitation is something that's specifically explored quite well with Rollo Goodlove. It's fascinating, but it's something the Boondocks explores quite often. It's more than the music, it's the networks, it's the leaders, it's the media. The exploitation of black people from the white media and the black capitalists who wish to exploit the suffering of black people for profit, seeking nothing but power and profit, imitating their oppressors. Don't get it twisted. Whiteness is a metaphor for power. Going back to that previous point, we have to ask, why is blackness so commercialized, even if it's a very specific image? Well, I think it's profitable. You can create some interesting perpetual cycles in doing so. If you sell them violence and crime, then they'll probably end up like Riley and end up in jail. If you sell them false dreams, they'll probably end up like Jasmine, confused and exploited. And as long as the prominent black figures are there to facilitate these narratives, then nothing is going to change. You see, black people are sold a lot of false ideas, and the only thing we have to pay in return is the price. And a lot of the time, the price is all we have to show for it. This weaponization of blackness has been strategically used against us.
I think that TikTok girl who said she gave laundry a ride was still in the truth. The spot she named is less than 10 miles away from where they found the body. No way. So they fucking gave... So you think they gave her a ride after he like got done doing fucking, you know, doing the deed?
But it doesn't have
back to her own car
to be this way. You see, the only reason it's being used in such a way is because there's so much inherent value in blackness as a concept. By making whiteness the color of oppression, the color that defined people's rights to own human beings, to rape, kill and steal with impunity, white supremacists have paradoxically opened the way for blackness to become the color of freedom, of revolution, and of humanity. This paradoxical idea is perhaps another factor into why black people are pushed into the forefront of pop culture. Because while people are conditioned to seek power, you certainly can't relate to it. And it's through our knowledge of this paradox that we're reminded through the show that we should be responsible with the images we put out and the ideas we sell to people. And that isn't exclusive to any form of media consumption. Because as illustrated, Blackness is commercialized in music, in food, in news outlets, in networks, in corporations, and much, much more. These profit-driven perceptions of blackness cause us more harm than good, because they aren't framed around honesty, they aren't sincere. If blackness is truly the color of freedom, revolution, and humanity, then the blackest thing you can do is be true to yourself in service of your people. To be real. It's more than your family, it's more than your friends, it's about recognizing the impact you have on a community. And it's harder than you think. But it has to be done, because while there's no ethical consumption under capitalism, you can't allow yourself to be consumed by the politics of power and profit. Because you'll not only lose sight of yourself and your own reality, but you'll openly be exploiting the same people you claim to support. And
Damn, Andrew beat you to the punch, chat. Oh, never mind. He didn't actually. He fucking literally didn't. He was texting me. That's not wait, is this Andrew? Is this actually the baby cub? It's new channel 5 videos released. Oh my god, dude, you got me. He just texted me literally just now. So I thought there was a new video and I looked it up and it was like, no, it's actually about something different. Fucking asshole. Fucking debated me. Fuck that chatter.
And don't be surprised if it comes back to bite you later. So stay true to your—
The Obama song? Was that Dick Riding Obama? Was that the Boondocks Obama song? Dick Riding Obama, right? Hold on. I want to pull this up. Dick Riding Obama featuring will.i.am featuring Thugnificent. Or Will.
Got up this morning, things weren't working right. I said I wanna make a change. I said I wanna fight. Obama walked up and said, yes, we can. I said I wanna ride your nuts, cause I think you're the man. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding.
Is that George Clooney, dude? They made him look.
Obama, Obama. Now I'm dick riding. Dick riding for tomorrow. Dick riding for today. Dick riding for the straight. Dick riding for the gay. Dick riding for America. Dick riding for rock. It's okay to ride that dick just as long as it's Barack's. And now we're dick riding.
So good. The irony is that there is literally a song that is not like Dick Riding Obama, but the actual song is like Obama. What was it? It was like a white lady who actually fucking I've got a crush on Obama. I think that's what it was called. Some good old-fashioned anti-bruv praxis from the Boondocks.
Hope you don't mind. We made some tea. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the bloke you're stealing from. The name's Alistair Rigby, but
I'm the bloke you're stealing from. I love when fucking British people talk like this, like they're fucking smoking so much, bro.
as far as you're concerned, I'm Willy fucking Wonka, and you're taking a shit in my fucking chocolate factory. Easy, boss. Don't get upset.
Don't get upset, boss.
The dentist, I'm upset. When Liverpool beats Arsenal, I'm upset. But when some little shit decides to take over one of the most profitable territories in the country, I'm beyond fucking upset. I'm very fucking upset. So, from now on, you're under new management. You will work for me, and in return, you'll receive an allowance.
Allowance?
Yes, allowance. As in, I'm allowing you to keep 10%, and I'm allowing you to keep drawing breath on this earth. Now, you either get down, or you lay down. What's it gonna be, sunshine?
This wasn't no movie. The smart thing was to say yes, get up, and leave the room. But then I thought to myself, what if this was a movie? Look, fuck you, fuck the plane you flew in on, fuck them shoes, fuck the socks with the bell on it, fuck your gay-ass fairy faggot accent, fuck them cheap-ass cigars, fuck your yuck-mouth teeth, fuck your hairpiece, fuck your chocolate, fuck Guy Ritchie, fuck Prince William, fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
My president's black and my Lambo's blue. Now we know why you hate the Brits so much. No, I don't hate the Brits. Dude, I gotta dial it back with the Britophobia. I feel like I'm being too bravophobic because it's easy. That's why I've been like increasing my Canadaphobia a little bit. Like I'm being Canuckophobic on purpose because like I feel like I've railed on the Brits too hard. And now I'm like worried that British people legitimately think I hate them or something. And I don't. I love British people. I do shit on the French a lot, but the problem with the French is like when I shit on them, they fucking nonstop cry about it and they get like really racist and Islamophobic. But when I shit on the British, like they just laugh it off. You know what I mean? They're good natured with respect to like, you know, being bravophobic. When I shit on the French, they're like, shut up! You shit off the dog! You Muslim cockroach! You're sacre bleu, you fucking piece of shit! I knew it! You are sand rat! Fuck you! You know, they just get like really hurtful. French people lose their fucking minds when you make fun of the French. Aiden really pisses and shits himself every time you do a British accent. What the fuck you mean? I mean, he's joking.
Yourself and stay true to others, because you never know who's watching, and you never know who you can help along the way.
Hey, look here, brother. Can you spare some money for a starving African? Hey, you never know when you might need some good karma now.
First rule of fundraising, don't give nothing to nobody.
Your blackness isn't something to be ashamed of. It isn't a weapon to be used against you. It's a vehicle for sparking change in the lives of others. And whether that's a vehicle to facilitate revolution, financial freedom, or humanity, well, that's for you to decide, not me.
Jumbo, good luck to you.
This is a bruv mate. It took me about 10 to 15 bravophobia of mild annoyance. Now it's funny. Did I beat it into you? Bro, France literally pulled their ambassadors out of the United States and Australia because they couldn't sell their submarines to Australia, okay? These motherfuckers are the most proud wee baguette motherfuckers out there, dude. Like, they just lose their shit. I mean, think about Quebec. Literally, look at Quebec, okay? The average Quebecer has so much French in them that they also have that same exact type of pettiness and pride. It's just something about French people that just like, it's just crazy. Damn, this dude just like breaks down a lot of a lot of black concepts through the Boondocks. Black media is too political. It's not. Black escapism, too much black trauma, cancel culture, black power. It's pretty sick. The French will not be reevaluating the role in the NATO. That's hilarious, dude. They're so butthurt. I'm sorry. Like literally, all it took was like a couple $2 billion. Nuts. Can you imagine if this actually becomes like an act of an anti-imperialist action, because then America turns around and starts fucking blasting France about, like, you know, their banking procedures with respect to African nations. They still control their you know, centralized banking systems. They're like, you can't talk shit, France, like, look at your situation. And then they just disband NATO. It'd be crazy. All it took was some fucking submarines that we sold to Australia instead of them. Also, what happens when France leaves NATO, actually? Never mind. Now that I think about it, like, what does France do in regards to NATO anyway? Like, France leaving NATO does it even do anything? Like, have they ever done anything in NATO? I can't blame Australia for not wanting some soggy baguettes. France is the most powerful country in the EU. Bro, what a psychotic take. Like, you think Germany doesn't exist? Like, what is this? France is the most powerful country in the EU? Dude, without Germany, there is no EU. The fuck are you talking about? It's just nuclear power. It's a bunch of fucking nuke weebs that are literally like, oh, France has left NATO before? I did not know that. During Charles de Gaulle's presidency of the France, de Gaulle protested the strong role of the United States in NATO and what he perceives as a special relationship between it and United Kingdom. Like, they're like a jealous girlfriend. In memorandum sent to the President Dwight HasanAbi and the British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan. I spit on you too, Harold. He argued for the creation of a tripartite directorate which would put France on the equal footing of US and the UK. Considering the response to be unsatisfactory, de Gaulle began constructing an independent defense force for his country. He wanted to give France, in the event of a East German incursion into West Germany, the option of coming to a separate peace with the Eastern Bloc. Oh my God, that is the most French thing. That's kind of base, though. Like, honestly. They're like the rats on the ship. When they see the ship fucking sinking, they're like, we're pulling out first. I used to have a friend who said the US is an imperialist. We're just part of NATO. It's functioning on France, but don't be such an ignorant American twat. France still is the biggest colonizer. Still controls all of West Africa's economy and Haiti. Wow, that's a wonderful piece of information that I literally mentioned, I think, what, like 3 minutes ago? Did you just join in the past 3 minutes? Is that why? Is that why you didn't hear it? I don't understand. What a crazy take that you just brought up that I also just brought up before you yelled about it as though I haven't brought it up. Ignorant American twat. Expecting me to listen. Exactly. I don't come here to listen. I come here to yell at you. I don't come here to listen. I come here to yell at you and act like you haven't covered something that you may have mentioned multiple times. Watch the colorism? No, I don't want to watch it. People are insane. The takes I've seen on Gabby Petito are crazy. Just take a look at what is that comparison? What? When police gave Brian Laundrie the benefit of the doubt by allowing him time and space to stay silent and skip town for possibly murdering Gabby Petito, but cops never gave George Floyd the benefit of the doubt by choking him out for a $20 bill. It's unequal justice. What? I mean, it's not wrong, but like I also don't understand. I don't understand why, like, they're saying that Brian Laundrie got the benefit of the doubt because he's white, but George Floyd never got that because he's black. That's all they're saying. It's such a weird fucking thing to like. It's technically not wrong. It's just like so odd to like. I don't know. I think what most people need to recognize is that Brian Laundrie's the reason why Brian Laundrie got away is not only because he's white. I mean, that definitely factors into it. But more important than that is because he's in Florida. Okay? When you're white and in Florida, it's like, it's over. It's just like cops are like, I don't know. I don't know what to do here, sir. I'm sorry. We're Florida cops. I don't know if you knew this or not, but like we don't usually prosecute people like this. I don't know what you want. It's like too powerful. They literally, Florida cops they can't prosecute you appropriately, even if you very much did the murder. Casey Anthony comes to mind immediately when we talk about this. Like they just go, I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck we're gonna do here. I mean, I suspect you did it, but like, I kind of can't do anything about it. Why are they drawing the parallel between assumed killer and George Floyd? They should be making the comparison between the victim and the way the media is literally crying on TV and how they treated the coverage of George Floyd. I mean, to be fair, like George Floyd was a turning moment that then even led to the commodification of BLM. You know what I mean? So the media did not cover George Floyd in the same way that they used to cover black victims of police brutality so frequently. They definitely did bank on the trauma in a similar capacity too. France actually plays a huge role in the NATO, and the U.S. refuses to recognize it and see that the French is being tasked with the top of the hour ad break that is developing all the revenue NATO needs to build it. I just like, as soon as I see that, it's just like, why do I keep reading it? Like, I read it and I'm finishing it too. Top of the hour ad break is developing all the revenue NATO needs to build $2.7 million houses. What do you mean the commodification of Black Lives Matter? Walmart throwing up a fucking black fist. And things of that nature. Defanging and commodifying what was once a radical movement that wanted to bring about justice and accountability. The Black House on Twitter and Instagram, yeah, that was really funny too. Anyway, I gotta fucking hit you guys at the top of the ad break here. Top of the hour ad break here. We're gonna do a little bit of news here. Okay, we're gonna go to Brian Kemp for a second. He's just being a fucking idiot, but it's top of the hour. If you no longer want to see the ads though, all you need to do is subscribe. You don't have to. You subscribe for $4 because it's 20% off right now, September. You subscribe for free with a Twitch Prime. You can use an ad block or a VPN if you don't want to do either of those things. But Twitch Prime is free if you have an Amazon Prime. Here's the ad break now. Boom. Oh my God! Does Hasan Piker have a fucking Gary V video? We'll watch the fuck out of this. Okay.
We've had vaccines for measles, for polio, for smallpox, for swine flu. How is this different?
Well, I think it's different in a lot of ways because it's so new. Even though it's very safe, it's very effective. We know that. I believe that. There are people that have doubt that's out there because they haven't been all three fully authorized yet, and then mixed messaging out of the Biden administration. And plus, just like the AIDS vaccine, mandating it didn't work. It only worked when they started educating people why it was a good idea. That's what we need to continue to do with the COVID vaccine.
We've got Biden. So we've had vaccines for measles, for polio, for small.
Boys, that's right. He just leaked it. The AIDS vaccine. That's right, dude. We had no idea, but it turns out there's a fucking vaccine for AIDS, dude. And Brian Kemp has known about it, and he's hiding it from you. Kind of crazy. Okay, we're not doing more.
Let's talk about what you and the legislature in Mississippi is doing, because I'm sure I don't need to tell you, Mississippi this week became the state with the worst number of coronavirus deaths per capita. In fact, if Mississippi were its own country, you would be second in the world only to Peru in terms of deaths per capita. That's a horrible, horrible, heartbreaking statistic. So with all due respect, Governor, your way is failing. Are you going to try to change?
Bro, I cannot believe that Bill Gates literally left Microsoft and became the governor of Mississippi, of all places. Like, that's wild, dude. Yo, stay in your lane, Bill. What the fuck? Stay in your fucking lane, Billy. The fuck is this, bro? He's like, nah, dude, I'm going to be the governor of Mississippi now. I cannot believe Ryan Grimm left The Intercept to become the governor of Mississippi. Bro, Peter Griffin, after a lap band surgery, is looking real different. He just left. He left Massachusetts or New England or wherever the fuck he's from, and then he just moved down to Mississippi. Now he's the governor. All right, Lois. Listen up, Jake Tapper. I love Mississippi. Was that bad? Is that not good? Holy crap, Lois. It's so bad. Holy crap, Lois. Not even close. Absolute trash.
Anything to change this horrible statistic from what you're doing already?
Yeah, well, obviously, in Mississippi, our legislature is a part-time legislature. Sometimes I wonder if in America, if our Congress was part-time, we wouldn't be in a better position. But let's talk a little bit about
better position than
Mississippi
what?
and where
Your
we
state
are
is
with the virus.
second worst in the world. I mean, how can you say that?
Let's talk about where we are and why. Well, Jake, let's talk about where we are and why we are there. In large part, just like the summer of 2020, it was the Sun Belt states that saw the initial surge from the Delta variant. It started, the first state that I saw seeing upticks was Missouri, and then it was Arkansas, and then it was Louisiana.
Typical Mississippi, dude. Immediately, it's like, you know, a lot of people say we're the worst, but guess what? Arkansas is right there, too. You know, I don't see you talking about Arkansas, huh? I don't, you know, there's some bad states out there. A lot of people keep saying we're the fucking worst, but guess what? Alabama's right there. I don't know why you're not talking about Alabama. That state is dog shit.
And now it's Mississippi. Our surge went from less than 100 cases per day in Mississippi to 3,600, much like what happened in the country of Israel, like what happened in the country of Great Britain and in England. We saw a very quick spike, and now...
Wait. Except those places didn't have the same death rate as Mississippi. That's why I can't believe I'm siding with Jake Tapper on any topic. But he didn't fucking bring up. That's why he brought up the death per capita rate. He's comparing states to countries. That's fine. I mean, Jake started that conversation. Jake started that conversation by saying your death per capita rate as a standalone death per capita rate is higher than Peru, or the second highest in the world after Peru. And his fucking take is, well, guess what? UK had that too. Yeah, well, also back then they didn't have the vaccine. So what's up? Well, I guess technically if you're in Mississippi, you kind of don't have the vaccine either. Like, you have the vaccine, but like functionally you don't have the vaccine. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you have it, but if you take it, I'll get the gay. I can't do that.
We're seeing a very quick decline in the total number of cases. We spiked at about 3,600. We're now half of that in our state. As you know, right. Unfortunately, fatalities is a lagging indicator when it comes to the virus. It is a lagging indicator. And so timing has as much to do with that statistic that you used as anything else. As we see in 2021, what occurred in 2020 as the Delta variant moves around the country, and it's going to happen. The president...
No, because there's a factor that changes things, and that is a rather important one, and it's called the vaccine. Okay, so like, I don't know if you know this, but like, if you compare 2020 numbers, 2021 numbers, like, yeah, Delta variant is like ripping through the country, and there's like 3 times, 4 times higher number of new COVID cases in the country, but there's like either the same amount of deaths or even lower amount of deaths. Now, the reason for that is because the vaccine. It's working. It's stopping people from dying when they get COVID. So that's why he, right here on the left, is talking about the death rate from COVID. And you are talking about literally every other stat other than the death rate from COVID. The conversation started and is supposed to end with the death rate from COVID. But he's like, well, 10 years ago, you had the swine flu, oh, Bobby, that's the thing. And also, you just think about it. If you age adjust it, a lot of old people are dying in Mississippi, and they were going to die anyway.
I want you to believe that the Delta variant is only affecting Republicans in red states.
Change anything?
That's just not true. That is not a fact. That is just not true.
No, the fact is the Delta variant is like ripping through all the states. It's just murdering the red states. Like, it's murdering a lot of anti-vaxxers in red states. Almost all the deaths are coming from red states, or at least anti-vaxxers that are by and large Republican. So that's why people say this is now a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Because that's what it is. It's purging. It's ripping through your fucking voters, dumbass.
And so what you're going to see...
Mr. Governor, my point is this. You compared yourself to Israel.
The Delta
Israel
variant is going to continue to move around the country, and you're going to see fatalities rise in other states. And so here's what we need to focus on, Jake, okay? Let's focus on this.
But my question is, what are you going to do to change this?
The best thing for Americans to do to protect themselves from the virus, and again, we believe in personal responsibility. Individual Americans and individual Mississippians
so you're not going to change anything.
Make good decisions to take care of themselves. The best thing that Americans can do, number one, is to talk to their doctor about potentially getting the vaccine, because in our state, some 89% of those hospitalized and some 87% of those who are of the deaths are actually coming from those who are unvaccinated. So the number...
Dude, look at that stat, dude. That's fucking insane. That's an insane statistic, dude. That's insane, dude. Like 90% of the fucking hospitalizations and 90% of the fucking deaths, almost. Like that's fucking just, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know how you fucking have this conversation with someone and they just like refuse. They just like refuse to fucking listen. That's nuts, dude. What a hill to die on. Quite literally. Like, that's the crazy thing. It's just that, like, you are literally dying on the hill. Like, normally it's figurative. Like, oh, what a hill to die on. Like, no, motherfucker, you're dying. You're literally dying.
Number one thing that you can do is you can talk to your doctor about getting vaccinated. The number two thing is, if you get the virus, and this is very important, if you get the virus, please talk to your doctor about the monoclonal antibody treatment.
You're not going to change anything.
That is the best way in which to do that. And unfortunately, the Biden administration...
Dude, I fucking hate America, dude. We are the dumbest country. Oh my God, we're going to get rolled. Listen, if I was a fucking foreign adversary and I wanted to like totally destroy America, it's a bioweapon. It's over. We'll fucking kill ourselves. Like, literally. It's nuts. It's just like we have no way of dealing with this. We just don't. We just don't have any way. Who would have thought, dude? Like, I've said, guys, if you've been in here since the beginning of COVID, you've heard me say this before. Like, I used to say this all last year. I was like, dude, even if you don't care about COVID, like when we were talking about masking up and like social distancing, I was like, even if you don't care about COVID, like think about it from a fucking, national security perspective. The entire Western world showed their fucking ass. Other countries were like going back to regular business, masking up and like, isolating and figuring out if there were like new vectors. They would immediately stop it dead in its tracks, contact tracing, stuff like that. We were doing none of that, and we were getting fucking ripped. And we have like we have a vaccine and we're still getting ripped. Nuts.
Continues to try to reduce the allocation to red states like Mississippi and Florida of that monoclonal antibody treatment.
Okay, Governor.
It's outrageous.
Governor, if Mississippi were a country, you would have the second worst per capita death toll in the world. And I'm saying...
Yeah, it was so funny when Americans refused to believe how China handled the virus. But then they would also simultaneously say that China was lying about their numbers too. They were like, no way that China fucking combat the virus. They must have lied about their numbers. And then they would turn around and be like, but also if you say that they handled the virus with the appropriate means necessary, well, guess what? They were really harsh. Like, yeah, motherfucker, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what governments are supposed to do. But also it's fake. And the second take was always, you always defend China. Oh yeah. Oh my God. What such dark times that was. Holy fucking shit. I mean, you still got it. Matt the Farmer, do you think China didn't lie? Bro, China of course fucking lied. Every government lies, dude. Every government lies. The difference is how much were they lying? Okay? How much were they fucking lying? There are measurable things that you can go back to. Chinese economic recovery is an indicator that you kind of can't fucking hide. Their economic recovery was way faster than ours. Even if China lied in a similar capacity to like Florida or even fucking, Andrew Cuomo in New York, for example, you have to recognize that like there are certain stats that you cannot fucking lie about. And that is, economic recovery numbers. 90,000 cases, but 1 billion population. Yep. Well, guess what, bitch? I believe that. Why don't you say that about Australia? Australia had like fucking 4 cases. Why do you not have a problem with Australia? Huh? Is there a particular reason why you're singling out China with lying? South Korea, Vietnam.
Are you going to do anything to try to change that?
Jake, as I mentioned earlier,
we are at 3K a day now. We fucked it up after a good run. Oh no. What happened? Did you guys shut down for too long and now hogs are fucking taking control and using that momentum against the actual app measures that Australia took and just spreading COVID like wildfire? Australia also has like super high population density in their cities, of course. Not super high population density if you look at the entirety of Australia, then it has like one of the lowest population densities. But the cities are fucking crowded as shit. Only one bad state, and there's only one bad state, which is a conservative state. The other factors of the conservative government at NSW refused to shut down and spread it everywhere. The fuck are you doing, mate? The fuck are you doing, you fucking Tories? I live in China and we went back to normal before last summer. We have a couple hundred cases pop up once in a fucking while because of international travel. We're going to bring in more variants there in the submarines. That's fucking right. We're bringing nuclear submarines. It was insane how good contact tracing was in South Korea and Japan. Melbourne.
Good evening. Violent clashes have put 6 police officers in hospital with broken bones after they were attacked and stomped on by anti-lockdown protesters. Up to 700 self-proclaimed...
Bro, that's the craziest part about protests anywhere else in the world is like cops are the ones that are going to the hospital whenever there's a protest. In America, when there's a fucking protest, it's like, you know, 30 civilians, 12 journalists died, you know what I mean? In Australia, it's like cops are the ones who are fucking going to the hospital.
Freedom fighters swarmed the streets of Richmond after the CBD was shut down by the biggest police operation in 20 years. Crime reporter Lana Murphy leads our coverage.
Cornered in a gorge, they linked arms and escaped by force. Not even capsicum spray could stop this man in black pushing one officer, then tackling a female member to the ground. Police trampled by the angry crowd, claiming to fight for their freedom.
They're here to help and keep the community safe, and what we don't come to work for is get trampled, assaulted, and end up going home.
This motherfucker needs to know about the thin blue line, baby. Wait, where's the... There's another video going on somewhere. I have no idea. Not even capsicum... What? Okay, this video, I think it's like still running. It's not Twitter.
They gathered in Richmond at noon, shutting down Bridge Road before snaking through the streets collecting supporters.
Before snaking through the fucking streets. I love Australia so much, dude. God, I gotta go to Australia.
We will not comply. The people united will never be defeated. We want to go back to work. We want no f***ing jobs. Why is the TGA lying to us?
Shutting down the suburbs, they
We fucking want VB long necks. Oi, mate. Who the fucking emus now?
bypassed already crippled businesses and somehow walls of armed and mounted police. The 700-person strong crowd was suddenly surrounded.
You serve us! You serve us!
Then sat in the street pleading for authorities to listen.
Why should I be forced out of a job? Why should anyone be forced to do anything? This is a human rights protest.
This group is simply too big.
No longer a fucking slave to veer on my shoulder for God. Bro, that is literally just like QAnon right there, dude. That's like...
For police to disperse. They were growing by the minute. Now a standoff here on Burnley Street. Police have no choice but to flank them at the front.
Oh my God, he has an American fucking flag, dude. He has the Gadsden.
At the front and back.
Did you see that?
See, look, we are being forced because we're on media now. People can see that we are not the bad people.
But with the resident opening an apartment gate, they made an escape. And violent splinter groups rapidly took over. Undeterred by...
Bro, they're like kicking cops and shit, dude. That's crazy. Look at their police, not one gun. Yeah, what the fuck's going on? Where is the artillery fire, dude? Where's the fucking artillery fire? They're being threatening and dangerous. Why aren't they using fucking rubber bullets? Shooting them directly in the fucking eye.
By spray, they
no
pelted
riot gear.
Bottles and equipment towards police. Key antagonists were arrested. Some were armed.
We saw angry young men that were there, just there intent on violence against police.
This was far from the original plan. Victoria Police's biggest...
First of all, let me just say something. Every fucking cop is wearing a mask. Okay? That's such a unique thing to see for me, an American. Like, our police force would be side by side with those hogs being like, yeah, it's fucking time to open it up. Open up the fucking economy. Like, that's how NA cops are. NA cops literally all anti-vaxxers. All anti-vaxxers, all fucking like refusing to mask up, dying at an alarming rate from COVID. I mean, literally just fucking ripping through the police force. COVID is just like... COVID literally is doing what Dorner wished he could, okay? God damn, dude. These cunts of fuckheads. who've just been waiting for shit like this so they can kick off, just looking for an ounce of their own oppression, just a crumb. They're a bunch of fucking dog cunts.
Biggest operation in 2 decades. They blocked almost every road in and out of the city, deploying 2,000 officers at a cost of almost $500,000.
Doing this does nothing to advance any cause. It's never been successful, here or overseas. Protesting gets you nowhere.
But these demonstrators hid in plain sight, many of them tradesmen and other essential workers, capitalising on a last-minute location change just outside the checkpoints in Richmond.
And Lana, a number of injured police officers remain in hospital tonight.
Well, Dougal, 10 officers were injured all up. 6 went to hospital for
Dude,
treatment.
I fucking love Australia.
They suffered broken.
That's it, dude. I'm coming. I'm gonna go to Australia, dude. I'm gonna fly out to Australia. I'm gonna sit in the fucking hospital. I'm gonna sit in the fucking quarantine for fucking 30 days. Isn't that how it works? Isn't it like you when you go to Australia? I mean, I don't even know if I can. But I feel like if you fly into Australia right now, you need to fucking sit in a fucking a hotel for about 2 weeks, yeah. And they literally fucking what do you call it? They like have round the clock surveillance. Like you can't leave your hotel. You must cause hell for all us embassies when they get notified you're going out the country. What?
Fingers, elbows, and noses, as well as torn muscles after they were.
I don't think Americans are welcome, but might be thinking of some European countries. The fuck do you mean Americans are not welcome? I'm bringing submarines, nuclear submarines. We're Australia's greatest fucking ally. I'll just tell them, "Why, mate? I'm from here. You fucking dog cunt." And then they'll be like, "Yeah, step right up, mate. Clearly you're one of us."
Assaulted by this angry mob. All up today, 235 people were arrested. 193 will be fined for breaching Chief Health Officer directions, but another 42.
People have been arrested for escaping hotel quarantine by literally tying sheets together and rappelling out of the window. Dude, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Face a number of serious offences, including engaging in riotous behaviour and the most serious of all, Dougal, assaulting police.
OK, Lana Murphy, thank you. Motorists were frustrated as police checkpoints led to major delays on the city's busiest roads. With public transport off limits, essential workers were forced to wait as police cracked down on anyone attempting to protest.
You can't open the windows in the rooms? I love that, dude. That's perfect for me. 14 days of uninterrupted broadcast nonstop. It's a prison colony. Of course, they're good at breaking out of things.
Protest in the CBD. Mimi Becker has the details.
Snaking into the city, traffic was...
Why do they keep saying sniking? I love that. That's such great terminology. Sniking into the city. The protesters.
Bumper to bumper. Today's show of force, a series of checkpoints, essentially shutting down Melbourne's CBD.
Oh, a good hour. This is crazy. There's only like a couple of cars getting through at a time. Ruined my day, honestly.
Drivers asked to provide ID and show authorised worker permits. Some frontline workers forced to sit in traffic for up to 2 hours.
Yes, it is an inconvenience, but a small one, so it's worth it. It's surreal. It's like a bit crazy, but no, never seen anything like this before.
It's pretty frustrating with all the protesters at the moment.
With trains, trams and buses not operating from 8 a.m, there were replacement shuttles to transport essential workers. Police had warned they would be present, and today they were impossible to miss. Water crews skimming along the Yarra. For those who made it into the CBD, police greeted them on almost every corner.
You have to have evidence of a crime in order to arrest them.
It was a great preventative measure by shutting down the public transport system as we did, by enforcing the vehicle checkpoints, kept all those people and the planned protesters out of the city.
While public transport was back operating around 2 p.m, police were still holding firm on the Ring of Steel, with some traffic delays well into the afternoon.
We estimated between 6,000 to 7,000 people were going to come in the CBD today. So our prevention piece, the strong vehicle checkpoints, kept people away.
And Mimi, the public transport system is back up and running.
Dougal, trains, trams and buses are all running into the CBD now, and things are still a little quiet though. People heeding Victoria Police's warning to not enter the CBD. For authorised workers who struggled to get in this morning, their trip home tonight is expected to be much easier. Victoria Police are unapologetic about shutting down the transport network. They see this as a successful operation, having kept thousands of protesters out of the city. Dougal?
Okay, Mimi, thanks for the update. Health authorities have admitted Victoria's contact tracers are facing unprecedented...
Lately, the national news in New Zealand has literally been covering he's breaking quarantine. The Prime Minister was asked whether it was okay for a hospital visitor to fuck a COVID positive patient on live national TV. It sounds fucking crazy right there. Why are they all hot? Everyone in Australia is hot. What the fuck? Not fair. Asking the right fucking questions, right?
Pressure due to surging cases. The state recorded more than 500 new cases.
Dude, the reason why you think everyone's hot is because they have a sick accent, okay? That's literally it. Like, the accent plays such a gigantic role. That's why, like, I always say it's not about, like, your perceived attractiveness is so much more complicated than just, like, the way you look physically. And this is perhaps one of the greatest examples of such a thing. Most of the time, like, you think, like, Aussies are fucking hot because... Here, this is the French K-Kona. I visited Australia, and everyone said my US accent was hot. Oh my God, that's awesome. That's fucking awesome, dude. I gotta go there. I really do gotta go there. Like, I want people to say my accent is hot. Aussies love US accents the same way US loves Aussie accents. Oh my God, boys. Chat, we're moving to Australia, dude.
Today, but the Health Minister has told Emily Rice tomorrow's roadmap will provide some much-needed hope.
While many Melburnians were relaxing outside, contact tracers have been working 24/7 to keep up with the surging coronavirus caseload.
Oh, the team is facing challenges.
Contact tracing policy has been to call those people who return a positive COVID result. Now that's...
You will get bullied by Australian men. They will call you Seppo. What the fuck does Seppo mean? Dude, what the fuck? What will Australian men... I'll be bullied by Australian men? A septic tank. Why? Also, who cares, dude? I'm not there to fucking... I'm not there to win over... I'm not there to win over the Australian men, okay? Don't give a fuck. I care about the fucking... I care about the fucking Aussie ladies. That's right. All the Aussie men can say Seppo is I fuck their girlfriends. How about that? They can be outside being like, oh, you fucking Seppo cunt. Get the fuck out of my house. I'll be giving Sheila the VB long neck. Oh, Jesus Christ. Just talk with a Turkish accent. Yeah, mom.
changing, with those who test positive first receiving a text message from the Department of Health, followed up by a phone call.
So that we get that advice to you as soon as possible.
I don't think it indicates the system being overwhelmed. It indicates that the system clearly is under pressure.
Our hospitals, our contact tracing, all of that should be up to standard. And if it's not where it needs to be, you know, Daniel Andrews has got some serious questions to answer.
There were 535 new infections recorded and 1 death, a Shepparton woman in her 70s. The total caseload is now close to 5,000.
We have two...
Can you even speak English with a real Turkish accent anymore, or is it just faded over time? No, speaking English with a Turkish accent is actually very easy for me. I mean, I have to try to speak English in a Turkish accent, but it's not very sexy, so I don't ever do it, you know? It's not a very sexy accent. That's right. Wait, what did they say? How many deaths?
The total caseload.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Okay, I'm banning every Australian from the chat. They were like, oh, COVID is ripping through our fucking country. You can't. Turns out it's 1 death, bro. Wow, dude. So ripped. Are you guys insane, dude? Are you fucking insane? Let's see how many people died in Mississippi this day, okay? Because that's how we started this conversation. Okay, it says 0 because they don't Sunday. So they don't actually fucking document on Sundays. But, yeah. 7-day average, 44. No, they don't document on Sundays sometimes. Okay, chill. 44 days. 44 a day. That's 1 state, by the way. That's a state that has so far had 9,000 deaths. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. 9,000 people have died in Mississippi since the beginning of COVID. The pattern on the right looks cool. I wonder why there's so many dots. It's because it's like big COVID areas. Like a COVID heat map.
Load is now close to 5,000.
We have 295 cases in the northern suburbs, which is 55%, and 62 of those in Craigieburn.
In the northeast, the Mercy Hospital has been declared a Tier 1 exposure site after a patient tested positive to COVID following a visit to a women's outpatients clinic during her infectious period. More than 100 pregnant women have now been forced to isolate. And while hospitals are working overtime, the construction sector is being warned to lift its COVID compliance.
That means Massachusetts has more COVID deaths than Mississippi? The fuck? Bro, are you stupid? What is the population of Massachusetts versus the population of Mississippi? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that fucking California has more deaths than Mississippi too. That doesn't mean anything.
Saw face shut down. Yesterday, workers held a smoko protest in the city, grumbling about the closure of their
Nice! They're on fucking smoko! Leave me alone!
They need to smarten up, but frankly, the whole sector needs to smarten up.
And the ramp up of vaccination continues with the opening of another pop-up clinic, this one at Narre Warren South College.
It can be difficult to get an appointment, so it's really great to have these vaccination clinics come to them.
Victoria's daily vaccination increase is more than 90,000. 71.2% have had 1 dose and over 40...
Construction workers closed the street. Angry fucking tradies block streets in COVID protest across Melbourne. Construction workers closed the street because they closed their lunchrooms. So they had to lunch outside. How fucking dare you?
83% are fully vaxxed. There are reports that classrooms could reopen to Year 12s and some junior grades at the start of Term 4 in just over a fortnight. But the Health Minister wasn't giving too much away today.
I know that
construction workers are protesting the fact that they can't eat inside. Yeah, well, you know, they're still chuds, guys. Like, unionizing automatically doesn't mean that, like, everyone's going to be smart by default. I'd rather have fucking, you know, dumbasses still be in a union and be able to fucking advocate for their best interest. Or rather, advocate for benefits and shit like that. And then also dumb shit. The unions didn't support that protest?
it is a document that will drive hope, recovery, and manage our way through what is still going to be a challenging period ahead.
The roadmap out of our COVID chaos will be revealed tomorrow. Exactly when the Premier will front the cameras is unclear, but I understand it won't be before midday. And it is essential viewing for hope-hungry Victorians who really need to know exactly what the path to freedom might look like.
Bro, she has a Giga Chad jaw. Anyway, let's finish our Mississippi conversation.
Deaths, unfortunately, are a lagging indicator. Our total number of cases went from 100 to 3,600, and over the last 2 weeks has declined. They have been cut in half.
Bro, deaths are a lagging indicator, except the only reason why new case numbers are fucking cut in half is because they're just dying. Like, that's why. They're following behind on your like, it's not like you took different action. Like, this is normal. This happens. Like, a certain percentage of the population gets COVID. The ones that are fucking vaccinated survive it. The ones that are unvaccinated don't. And after a while, it's, of course, it's going to decline. It declined in India too.
From 3,600 to 1,800. When you wanted me to come on 3 or 4 weeks ago, you want to talk about our number of cases. And then you want to talk about our hospitalizations. Now you want to talk about a lagging indicator, which is sad and it's
I'm trying
horrible.
to talk about
And
dead Mississippians is what I'm trying to talk about.
All 9,000 Mississippians that have passed away. But let's put this in perspective, Jake.
Like, bro, you were... It's not like you assumed the governor role like last week. You were still the governor back then. You know? Like, oh, it's a lagging indicator. Okay. Yeah, under your watchful eye, 9,000 Mississippians have died.
I mean, the reality is Mississippi accounts for 1% of the U.S. population. We account for 1.1% of the total number of cases in America, and we account for 1.29% of the total number of fatalities in America. And so the reality is the Delta variant is very transmissible.
He's literally just going, it is what it is. Like, also, those percentage points are, you know, important because we're talking about 330 million. Okay? So you can try to be like, well, we account for 1% of the population, but 1.3% of the deaths is like, yeah, of 330 million, dude. Like, it's not like that means that your situation is like, at the very least, 30% worse than fucking everyone else.
Admissible, and it is moving around the country. If you want to talk about cases right now, talk about Kentucky or West Virginia or what's happening in...
Bro, I love that. Oh, dude, this is typical Mississippi behavior. Typical Mississippi behavior. Why don't we talk about Kentucky? Mississippi yesterday had 13 times the amount of total deaths in New York and had less than 20% of the population, aka 65 times the death rate. You want to talk about this country? Why don't you talk about Alabama? Okay, they're bad too. All these other states are out here saying, "Thank God Mississippi exists, so we're not dead last." Well, guess what? They're still like, you know, second worst. Why don't we talk about who's second worst, who's third worst? You know what I'm saying? Everybody always wants to talk about Mississippi being the goddamn worst state in the country. You know, okay, thank God we're not Alabama. How about that? We're number one, baby. Number one, and guess what? You know, sometimes it's good to be number one.
In North Carolina.
Not on this time, though, because we're talking about death rates. But, like, number one, just don't even talk about that.
Are moving into Southern Virginia.
I'm asking
This
you about
virus
your
is very
state, but I'm not going to ask you about West Virginia or Kentucky. I'm going to ask you about your state, and I'm just saying you seem to be very, very activated when it comes to fighting the mandate from the federal government. And
that's the worst part about it, is that, like, these fucking assholes in red states are like, yeah, talk to your doctor to get fucking vaccinated, but also we will not allow the federal government to come in and tell us in Mississippi what we can and can't do. It's like, dude, please, like, we're trying. Like, everyone's trying, okay? The fuck is wrong with you, dude? God damn it.
I understand the arguments you're making, but what President Biden is trying to do is save lives. Now, you can think it's bad policy or it's unconstitutional, and that's fine. We can have that discussion. We already have. But he's trying to save lives. I'm saying to you, your way's not working. And whether you say it's a lagging indicator or...
Wait, okay, let's look at Mississippi's numbers, okay? Mississippi's number 50 in healthcare, number 43 in education, number 49 in the economy, number 48 in infrastructure, 44 in opportunity, 41 in fiscal stability, 33 in crime and corrections, and 22 in natural environment. Pretty good for natural environment. The median income of Mississippi is $24,519, dude. Only 32% of the population is college educated. Jesus fucking Christ. And it is 49th overall in the rankings. Wait, which one's the last state then? I mean, that's why they say thank God for Mississippi is a common adage in the United States, particularly in the South, that is generally used when discussing rankings of U.S. states. Since the U.S. state of Mississippi is commonly or stereotypically ranked at the near bottom of such rankings, residents of other states ranking near the bottom may proclaim, thank God for Mississippi, since the presence of that state in the 50th place spares them from the shame of being ranked last. Is it West Virginia? Oh, there it is. Fucking Louisiana. Some of the richest and the poorest in the country, side by side. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Their GDP is pretty huge, damn. Yeah, because it's fucking one of the richest states in the country and also one of the poorest states at the same time. I know. A lot of natural resources, fucking massive trade hub. They got oil, baby. They got oil. They got oil money. Iowa is higher than California in the list. Shut up. That's why I shit on Iowa a lot, okay? Now you know. Idaho. What the fuck? Wait. Best states: Washington, Minnesota, Utah, New Hampshire, Idaho. What? The fuck? Get the fuck out of here, dude. This is crooked. Twisted, dude. Hold up. Bro, what the fuck? New Hampshire is number 4. Okay, this list is broken. Idaho, Nebraska, Virginia, Wisconsin, Massachusetts, Florida. Bro! Vermont, Iowa, oh, Jesus Christ, North Carolina, North Dakota, both the Dakotas, Colorado, Maryland, Georgia, New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, Oregon, Delaware, California. Number 24, dude. That's devastating. No, it's not sus as fuck. People often forget California is not just San Francisco and Los Angeles and San Diego. You have to remember that, like, this is a comprehensive list of the entirety of the state. You also have to remember, like, Bakersfield exists. You know what I mean? Like, you got California and then you got Bakersfield. Fresno. Yeah, you got Sacramento, Oakland. There's a lot of parts of California that aren't like, you know. Like, my counter to all of this shit is this, okay? Oh yeah, Nebraska and Idaho, number 5, number 6. Why the fuck would you want to live in either of those places? That's it. Like, you'd be in number 5, but then you'd also be living in Idaho. You know what I mean? Fuck that. Utah's got some cool places. I think, like, Utah has decent places. Minnesota does too, obviously. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of this is dog shit. The top states on this list are dog shit, dude. Can't make this up. The strongly anti-vaccine, anti-mask Hillsborough County GOP, Tampa, Florida, can't access financial data because the only guy who knew how to just died from COVID. Oh my God. Are you serious? Bro, I don't know how to respond to that. Like, there's nothing more Florida than this, dude. Just having one guy. Having one guy. Only one guy has access. What is this? The cost of Concordia? I don't know if I watched this.
The Costa Concordia, ship of dreams. It's been 8 years. I can still smell the buffets from their 5 restaurants. The casino and 3-story theater had hardly been used. Ah, the gym, the day spa, the sheets in her 1,500 luxurious cabins hadn't even been slept in. Costa Concordia cost $570 million to build.
So many chatters saying we watched it, but I don't think I watched it.
And you could tell. You could really tell.
Did we? I mean, there's, you know that, like, there's a video. They're hoss-lighting you? Yeah, that's when, yeah, that's right.
I remember it like it was just a few years ago. We had left Civitavecchia, a port in Rome, and we were making our way to Savona. It was day 2 of our 7-day journey. But that ship, she was cursed.
Oh my God.
When she premiered, the traditional bottle of champagne bounced right off the side instead of smashing. A bad omen. But I'm not the superstitious type. Nothing could go wrong on Friday the 13th of January.
Bro, if you can't fucking destroy a bottle on the side of a ship, don't operate that ship. That makes no sense. Like how, like, it's like the easiest thing to do, man. That is actually a fucking badass omen. Just sink the ship.
2012, on the 100th year anniversary of the Titanic, on a ship that's also only safety rated for 2-compartment flooding. Especially not when you have a 5-star max-level captain like Francisco Schettino, a man who mysteriously rose from head of security to the position of captain within just a couple of years. He knows exactly what to do in case of an emergency. For example, when he caused this emergency in 2008, when he crashed into a port in Sicily. And in 2010, in Warnemünde, Germany, when he was steering a different...
You know he was fucking drunk on both occasions. That man, I'm sorry, like, I know I'm being a little Italiophobic right now, but you know my dude was just fucking wasted, dude, okay?
Ship and came into port too fast and caused another collision. I've got a good feeling about this. So let's set the scene. It's a beautiful evening. People are having fun on the slides, drinks at the bar. Antonio Magnotta is playing piano at the restaurant.
The chatter asked you to watch it 2 days ago, and you said it was too long when it came out. Kitty Young Son, can we watch Concordia now? Last time when it came out, you said it was too long.
Martin the Magician is setting up for his show. And the ship is setting up for a little detour. It's called a sail-by salute. Basically, you get real close to the shore and honk the horn. The locals hate it, but the customers love it, and it's a tradition. Schettino, the captain, comes into the dining hall with a lady, Dominica Samorton. Remember this face because you'll be seeing a lot of it later. Schettino eats his dinner with her and socializes for a little while. Then he, Dominica, and the maitre d' finish up and excuse themselves. They're heading to the bridge. It's time for that sail-by salute. This time, they're going to get closer than ever. Just 1,500 feet from the island of Giglio. And how are they going to determine this distance? Well, of course, the captain is going to eyeball it. Apparently, it's not an uncommon thing to do. Schettino turns to the fella steering, his helmsman, Jacob Ruslibin. First interesting tidbit. Costa Crociere has hired Jacob from Indonesia at a rock-bottom price, and he's a bit of a newbie to the job. In fact, his profession hitherto, a painter and a cleaner. It's his first time steering a massive ship, and he's very excited. At least, we think he is. It's hard to tell because he doesn't speak English or Italian very well at all. Off to a good start. The second in command orders the helmsman to 290. Now, don't be confused by these numbers, they're just the degrees on a compass. At the same time, the captain whips out his cell phone and calls former captain Mario Palombo, who lives on the island. They chat about the safe distance to Giglio's shores. It's all very casual. Anyway, Mario says that the safe distance is between 0.3 and 0.4 miles from shore. The captain is going all in. This is not his first sail-by salute, so he's confident in what he's doing. We're going closer than we've ever been before. The captain's eyeballing it again. New heading of 300, he tells the helmsman. Downstairs, Martin is about to cut his assistant in half. And of course, that means that there's already a lady inside this box. She's waiting for the cue, and then she'll poke her legs out. The captain is giving more orders. Pulling gently to 310. Increase speed to 16 knots. Going this fast is going to be a fatal error. But before we talk about that, let's talk about another big problem. Language barrier. Because at this point, the captain says 325, but the helmsman relays 315. So the first officer intervenes, and he goes, no, 335, which is also wrong. And then the captain clarifies, no, 325. The helmsman confirms 325. Their poor communication has them moving at a much wider angle than they think they are. However, the captain should and would know this, except for the next problem, complacency about procedure. The standard procedure of a ship this large is for the third officer to give exact positional coordinates every time the captain gives a new directional order. But they're not doing that. 3:30, he says. The helmsman relays 3:30. The ship reaches 16 knots. The captain then turns to the second officer and instructs him to go to the left wing. That's these things here, and they basically exist so you can get a better view over the whole vessel. A few seconds pass, and then the mood starts to turn. Scatino notices white foam of waves breaking against the rocks directly in front of him in the distance. The Costa Concordia, right now, is almost 700 meters closer to the rocks than it should be. Without deviation, there is going to be a direct collision.
Oh, shit!
Scatino immediately commands the ship to start turning away. 335. Not enough. The captain shouts, 340. The captain yells, 350. Now, remember how I said that accelerating to 16 knots was a fatal error? Well, that's because it's made this ship incapable of such a drastic turn. What they've got is understeer. Here's an example.
The front end is not working. You're turning, and you're just going straight. You want to go over here, but you're going to end up over here.
So despite the order of 350, right now the bow is still only pointing at 327. Not nearly enough to miss the rock. And oh no, it's about to get worse. That language barrier again. In these critical moments where every second counts, the helmsman wrongly relays 340. The captain snaps back, 350 starboard or we end up on the rocks. The third officer goes to assist the helmsman. Now, don't get confused by the orders from here. We're changing over to rudder instructions. The captain yells, starboard 10, starboard 20, and still it's not enough. Hard to starboard. That means as hard as it'll go. But at this point, even if they clear these rocks, they need to get the rest of the ship to swing around it. So the captain yells, midship, which centers the rudder. The bow is now less than 150 meters from Skull Rock. Port 10. But the helmsman only gets to port 5 before another order is given 2 seconds later. Port 20. They might just avoid disaster here, maybe. But then, oh no. One more time the helmsman cocks up at the worst possible moment. The helmsman goes to starboard instead of port, undoing the swing. 8 seconds later, he realizes the error and corrects, but it's too late. He has just turned a probable near miss into a sure hit. All they can do now is hold on as the bow of the ship narrowly passes by the rocks. Hard to port! The second officer yells, we're gonna hit! Collision.
Olive oil and pasta. Hold on. Not the fucking pasta.
Ad time. Downtown.
Damn, dude. You know, I oftentimes appreciate like a segue when he hits a segue like that's a part of the fucking meme, you know what I'm saying? Like when it's top of the hour and you say like there's a 6-second ad break coming right now, but then you tell people like you can avoid the ads by subscribing. You can use a VPN actually if you wanna avoid the ads. Okay, or you can use an ad blocker, or you can subscribe for $4 because it's September, or for free with a Twitch Prime. But here's the ad break now. That's right. You've been getting lucky as fuck today with the ads lining up to what you're watching. I know.
The ship hits rocks on the port side. A 53-meter gash opens up in the hull, and thousands of tons of water begin pouring in. A loud scraping and bang is heard by all passengers. At the helm, there's panic. Rumblings in the dining room. Martin awkwardly pauses his act as he's helping his assistant into the box. Meanwhile, the lady inside is trapped and terrified. There's confusion across the ship. All of the crew off shift come back on duty. All officers run to the bridge. Technical crews run down to the lower decks to assess damage. On connection with the rocks, they lose propulsion and slow to 8.3 knots. And they are now adrift. Close the watertight doors at stern. Enormous volumes of water are pouring in. So much so that within 29 seconds of collision, all 6 engines stop working through flooding. 22 seconds later, a blackout happens.
Bro, he literally hit like... So what happened? He fucking hit the ship in the worst possible place? God damn, dude. Like, he could not have tried to hit it in the worst place. He could not try to hit a worst possible spot.
Lights, electrics, water pumps too. Everything. The captain orders the helmsman hard starboard. This is the final position of the rudder before power to that too is lost. The Costa Concordia, now without power, is drifting starboard, plunged into absolute darkness. A quick breakdown of the flooding. When the Concordia struck land, it tore open 3 watertight compartments. At first, compartment 5, which filled very rapidly. Then 6 more slowly, 4 shortly after. Then 7, 8 and 3. Modern ships are built to withstand 2 compartment breaches. These compartments especially though are a problem, because they contain the engines and the electrics. These main generators give power to the whole ship. From propulsion motors to rudder to hotel functions, pretty much everything. When they went out, the ship was a functionless, sinking cage. A few seconds later, the emergency batteries for internal lighting and communications kick on. When the lights come back on, Martin has vanished. He's ditched the stage, and it caused a huge panic in the theatre as passengers are trying to flee to their cabins and to muster stations. People already in their cabins come out and start putting on life vests. Staff rally and try to calm everyone down. Everything is fine. There's no need for vests. Please return to your cabins. The emergency generator starts.
All 6 boat engines to drown in 29 seconds was unheard of. I mean, it seems like my man did the devious lick. You know what I mean? He just licked that fucking rock in the absolute worst place he possibly could have. Like that was a fucking world record hit.
All of the watertight doors close except for door 12, which is jammed. The captain calls Pilot, the chief engineer, as the ship begins to list on the port side. There's water coming in? Yes, there's water. But where? The engine room. But a lot of water? Yes! There's water, you can't go down. Let's go down the other side. In a moment we'll start the pumps, I'll let you know. In the theatre, the whole magic box apparatus slides right off the stage and falls into the crowd, further increasing panic. On the bridge, an announcement is being prepared. They are going to lie to prevent a panic. Let's just say we have a blackout. The deputy chief engineer enters the engine control room. He confirms to the bridge that at least compartments 5, 6, and 7 are flooded. Announcements are made.
The captain.
Bro, I would be calling the fucking other Italian previous captain immediately and been like, yo, we're dying. Like, we're done. Why haven't they done this so far?
To inform you that due to an electrical fault, which is currently under control, we're currently in a blackout. Our technicians are working to resolve the situation and will inform you of developments as they occur. Thank you for your attention.
Coincidentally, at the same time in the restaurant, they're playing My Heart Will Go On, and it's very much not helping the situation. The captain calls the Costa Crisis Unit, Roberto Ferrarini. He tells the crisis unit that they've hit a rock, that they're assessing damages, and that they are also in a blackout. The crisis office says to reverse the ship up onto shore. Well, how are you going to do that? You don't have power to the rudder, let alone the engine. You know, hoist the sails? Anyway, around this time, the wind direction creates a starboard list, and the ship begins to turn anyway, drifting right back towards the shore, which is a very good thing because you want the ship to end up as close to shore as possible. A panicked passenger senses that something is
Wait,
off.
what? No, I thought that that's the opposite. I feel like you don't want that. Why not? What do you mean? If it's gonna sink, you do? I mean, I guess it is already sinking, so I guess, yeah.
This isn't like any electrical problem that she's ever seen. Plus, there was a massive crashing noise and now the ship is tilting. So, she contacts her daughter in Italy. The daughter then calls the police, and the police call the harbour master. While that goes on, a conversation between Pilon and Ambrosio. The diesel is not starting. The captain asks the engine room, but where have we made contact? Thinking that the incoming water can be reduced. Captain, here everything is lost. The electrical panel, everything. They're saying at this point that the ship is going down. The captain calls Roberto Ferrarini again. Actually, 2 compartments have been flooded, but don't worry, the ship's stability isn't in danger. Wrong. Passengers begin going to muster stations on their own initiative. The cruise director says, "We have a lot of people at muster stations that I do not want to fall overboard. Do we make an announcement to tell them to go to the lounges?" Bozio says, "I think that's best." The harbour master from Livorno calls the ship. The captain...
Okay, going forward, I mean, first of all, you'll never catch me in a fucking cruise ship, okay? This is one of the many reasons, but it's like, I'm not going in that shit. Like, I don't understand why people are so fucking obsessed with it. Like, I find it really silly. It's like, even before COVID, they were just like a bacteria-infested, insane experience for some fucking weird reason. People like to do it. But if I was, you know, kidnapped, drugged, found myself on a fucking cruise ship of some sort, you bet your fucking ass when the captain is saying like, "Oh yeah, go back to your fucking lounges," I'm gonna be like, "Fuck no, I'm staying right here. I don't give a fuck, dude. You will have to shoot me." Okay? I am standing on top of the fucking boat that you get onto to jump out. Okay? I'm literally standing on it. You will have to shoot me in the face. Not even on the legs. I will fucking claw my way back onto the boat. No shot.
Tells them that we just have a blackout. How long has this blackout been going on? About 20 minutes. Have you asked passengers to put on life vests?
Also, none of those fucking, like, you know, women and children, like, none of that. I'm like, nope, fuck no, dude. Abso-fucking-lutely not, dude. How about that? Nope. Nope, I'm the biggest motherfucker. I need it. I'm sorry. No shot. Me, my family, okay, maybe some cute dogs. Nope. Like, maybe if I see, like, I don't know, like a little kid that has cancer or something, like, bloop, I'll grab him and, you know, put him in my backpack or something. But other than that, dude, no shot. No women and children first. None of that shit. Bitch, I saw Titanic. I'm not trying to fucking die, dude. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not trying to fucking drift away on a piece of fucking wooden door or some shit. So brave. Yeah, it's called being smart, okay? Someone, fuck that little kid. He gonna die anyway. Ah! I can't believe you just said that. What happened to Jack was murder?
Yes. It's just a blackout. I gotta go. The harbour master is suspicious. He says to his superiors that he thinks something more is going on. He calls a patrol boat to the area and asks them to look at the ship. Another problem. The fan on the emergency diesel generator isn't working properly. Pilon manually has to turn the thing on and off with a screwdriver so that it doesn't overheat and cause a fire. The captain is on the phone to the lower decks asking pointless questions like, is it still flooded? Yes. Yes, it is. The captain is essentially in denial of the situation.
Bro, this dude is like fucking Brian Laundrie, dude, doing literally every bad thing he can in a crisis situation. Like, he's done all the wrong things, dude. Does he have a manual of like what to do so he can just like avoid all of those things? It feels like he's just looking for all the wrong things to do.
Harbour master calls again. Finally, he says, the ship is taking on water through an opening in the left side and the ship is listing. He qualifies with, no one dead or injured. The harbour master asks if he needs help. Just a tugboat? When in reality, they need a full rescue. With 3 compartments flooded.
My man said just a tugboat, dude. The fuck's a tugboat gonna do when the ship's underwater?
The captain finally realizes that things are really bad, and they are not going to improve.
I was a sailor, can confirm, do everything in an emergency except procedure.
The Coast Guard orders every available ship to the scene. Meanwhile, up with the passengers, the cruise director's assistant says, everything's under control. Please return to your cabins or hang about in the lounges, no problem. She said this despite knowing it was wrong and that it further endangered lives. Most passengers at this point, though, aren't listening to this nonsense, and they're busy figuring out how to abandon ship. Bang, 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 bang. Local television has already picked up the story and they begin broadcasting live radio feed from the bridge.
Hey, couple.
Captain, the passengers are going on board the boats. Okay, let them go to shore. So then general emergency? Wait, let me talk to Ferrarini. We risk the emergency generators that do not have cooling. It has cooling problems, 100 degrees. The cooling fan has stopped. Pilon calls the bridge and tells the safety officer they need to evacuate. The safety officer relays this to the captain, but after no response, he orders the engine room to evacuate on his own. The captain says, no, stay. We're leaving. So what do? General emergency? The captain tells Ferrarini that he's abandoning ship. Abandoned ship! Another announcement is made.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. The situation is under control. Please remain calm. But at this time, proceed to your muster station. They're located outside on deck 4.
The Livorno Coast Guard calls again. The captain declares distress. The Coast Guard officially calls for rescue operations. They contact Pietro Mille. The helicopter...
Luckily, they were fucking already, like, sending ships, I guess, because they were like, yo, fuck this captain. Bro, how do you not know this motherfucker's, like, hit 2 ships so far? Why did they let him sink a 3rd? This guy's the John McCain of ships, dude. Like, I don't understand, dude. What the fuck? Like, how do you keep your job after hitting 2 fucking ships?
Helicopter base commander, who then calls in every available pilot as he rushes down to the helicopter base. Pilon shuts down the emergency generator for the final time. The first rescue vessel arrives. By this point, the lifeboats are already going. Luckily, the ship is very close to shore. Oh, perhaps too close to shore. The ship forcefully runs aground, creating an uneven center of gravity, and it begins heavily listing starboard. The captain issues a general emergency on board. The announcement to abandon ship is finally called and alarms ring out, and with that comes panic. And now that they're listing, with many of the lifeboats too awkwardly positioned to enter the water, there aren't enough readily available and they have to start going back and forth to the shore, picking people up and dropping them off. The patrol boats report to the Livorno harbour master that the ship has run aground and is listing heavily. So the harbour master asks the captain about it, and the captain says, no, the ship is still floating. In fact, we're trying to maneuver it onto the shore. They know he's lying.
Why is he still lying? Dude, kill this man, dude. What the fuck? I'm sorry. In a video game, but also, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with this dude, bro?
Hold on, I'm reversing it. Beep, 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 beep. The captain then says to bottom out the starboard anchor. So they drop out the anchors, but let out too much chain, effectively rendering them useless. The deputy mayor of Giglio, Mario Pellegrini, and tobacco shop owner Giovanni Rossi arrive at the harbour. They watch the scene unfold.
What?
As the first of the lifeboats arrive on shore, the deputy mayor takes the initiative and races to board one of the lifeboats, returning to the ship, and starts trying to find someone in charge. He gives up and starts helping passengers.
What?
Scatino tells everyone to leave and take radios, but not before changing out of his uniform and into a nice suit. Priorities. Dimitri Christidis...
Bro, the most Italian man in the world, dude. What a fucking... Oh my god, dude. Yo, this is nuts, dude. This is almost bad as a captain involved in a South Korean ferry accident where the captain abandoned ship and left some of the students who were told to stay put to die as he and some of the crew escaped. What?
And Silvia Coronica leave with him. The maitre d' and Sir Morton both get out of there. By this point, approximately 300 people are still on the ship. Mille reaches the helicopter base. The first helicopter, a slow-moving Augusta Bell, was already rising from the tarmac for the hour-long flight south. Bozio is the last crew member left on the bridge, coordinating evacuation.
Don't read about the Korean incident. It's too sad. It will make you too angry. Apparently, wait, did the guy kill himself? That Korean captain committed suicide not long after, out of guilt.
Then leaves to help passengers board lifeboats. The bridge is now abandoned. And then, the ship's black box stops working. Apparently there were technical problems with it. That means, from here, things are going to get a little foggy in detail.
What?
A while later, rescue helicopters...
Stop! The captain currently teaches panic management at Rome University? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Yo, evil people always win, dude. Always.
Arrive, but they're struggling to find the ship because they're
Wait, oh, is this before or after?
Expecting it to still be well above water. Passengers are scaling down the port side by ladder as lifeboats return to pick them up.
This is no joke. Oh my goodness. It was no joke, mi amor. Yes.
You're not allowed to make a film movie.
I'm allowed.
Who say you are?
A second helicopter, a faster model, sets off. The ship stops healing and comes to a final resting place. Now the Coast Guard calls the captain because he's just learnt that the captain has abandoned ship. The captain claims, no, actually I slipped and I fell into one of the lifeboats. I'm a klutz. But now that I'm on board, I may as well head back to shore. DeFalco tells the captain to get the fuck back on board. And the captain kind of acts confused and then effectively refuses. So the captain makes it to shore. From here, we only have mainstream news reports to rely on, so it's not going to be super accurate. But they say that Giglio's police chief then finds 110 survivors on the rocks at Point Gabbianara. And among them is the captain. It's not known whether the captain helped anyone while he was there, and in fact, the police chief claimed that he just sat on the rocks and watched other people do the rescuing. A while later, a rescue boat picks up the captain and takes him to the harbour. He speaks to the police.
Kill him, I suspect.
He then finds the ship's onboard chaplain, Father Rafael Molina, and cries to him for about 15 minutes. Then he goes to the harbour master's office to receive probably the biggest dressing down of his entire life. Port authorities ask the taxi driver to take the captain back to his hotel. The captain takes the 30-second cab ride to the Bahamas hotel. According to the cabbie, he was beaten like a dog. He was cold and afraid. He only asked me where he could buy a pair of fresh socks. But then he perked right up again and gave an interview to a news crew. He told them that he was the last to leave.
The captain is usually the last to abandon ship. What happened, Captain? We were the last to leave the ship.
All day Saturday, rescuers search.
Bro, he literally changed his outfit, not to like look swaggy or because it's like an Italian behavior. He changed his outfit so he could hide amongst those who were escaping.
For people on the ship. On Sunday morning, a South Korean couple is found in their cabin, safe but shivering. They had slept through the crash and woke up unable to exit their cabin. The last survivor, Manrico Giampandroni, was found with a broken leg. He was the cabin service director.
Fuck.
In the end, 32 people died. The final body wasn't discovered until nearly 3 years later. A crew member, Russell Rebello, and it's believed that he died a hero helping passengers off the ship. The Costa Concordia was the largest cruise ship disaster since the Titanic. And then there's the ship. This is what happens to a 110,000-ton cruise liner when it's left half rolled over in the ocean.
Dude, that's so... Oh, dude. Yo, we need to ban cruise liners. I mean, seriously. They are so fucking... They use up so much power. There's nothing good about it. Like, it's just... They're so bad. It does look like a COD map.
this isn't the end. It's just the halfway point. What most people...
Banning the 4 biggest ships would be the same as removing all cars from Europe? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Are you serious? That can't be the truth. That literally can't be the truth. That is so fucking insane. There's no way that's true. That's so insane that, like, every executive in a fucking cruise ship, in the cruise ship industry, should be going to jail right now. Like don't skip go. I mean, don't pass go, straight to jail. Like, there shouldn't even be a trial. Everyone that has continued cruise liners as an industry needs to be in jail tomorrow, if that's true. They burned bunker fuel in international waters, which is 1 grade above tar. I think that means container ships, not cruise ships. They're 3 times the size. Like, at least with container ships, there's a need for that, okay? There is a necessity. That's international trade. Like, I'm willing and able to fucking, you know, reduce that as well. But if we're talking about cruise ships, there's nothing. Like, there's nothing, dude. Wait. I need my luxury vacation too. Bitch, fly to fucking a nice place, okay? The fuck do you mean luxury vacation? Just fly to a place instead, please. Like, that's so stupid. I don't understand it.
No, is that the Costa Concordia had crashed, many dead.
I'm a chef and working as a cook on a cruise line is modern day slavery with work weeks up to 90 to 120 hours. Some cruises that leave U.S. borders will pay you under minimum wage.
And that the captain abandoned ship like a coward. But there's a whole veritable spaghetti of details to untangle. Let's dive in. There they are. The deets.
Confirmed liberal / send them to jail. You think it's liberal of me to fucking want to jail executives? What planet do you live on, dude? Dumbass. Also, it's your... Hey, man, I don't know if you know this, but, like, you live on this planet too, you fucking idiot. That's the funniest part about people who, like, tell me that I suck for, you know, advocating... for measures to, like, at least somewhat limit our emissions so we can tackle the climate change crisis. Is like, bro, you live on this planet. Like, bitch, you don't live in Mars. You live here. The fuck do you mean? Like, oh, stupid liberal, dude. No, I'm gonna keep fucking dumping toxic waste into the fucking water. Fuck you, dude.
Blue box time. The Costa Concordia was more than just a floating resort. There's a mall, a casino, cha-ching, cha-ching. This iron chest was full of safes and cash registers and expensive fittings. And there were plenty of gamers prepared to sneak by authorities and try their luck in the hot zone. Within days, police divers reported that valuable items, once seen lying around the ship, were now missing. High-end liquor, expensive furniture, dining sets, cash from the casino, cash...
Bro, who the fuck... Bro, who's stealing dining sets, dude? But, yeah, those are some devious-ass licks, but, like, the dining set is, like, the dumbest thing you can steal. What the fuck?
Registers, jewelry and display cabinets, safes, Japanese woodblock prints by famous 18th century artists, as well as the iconic bell, which hung from the bridge of the ship. It was never found. Who steals a big fuck-off bell? Even the server admins were getting involved. 4 divers who were part of the company contracted to refloat the Concordia were spotted on CCTV, sneaking out to the ship. A patrol boat was dispatched, and the men were caught inside the fancy suites with rucksacks full of stolen goods. The 4 men are charged with stealing and thieving and pinching. Later on, stolen as well as legitimate items found their way to Amazon and eBay. Chips from the casino, postcards, and cabin access cards became highly sought after souvenirs.
It even has a watermark.
Some Australian guy even made a listing for the ship itself, advertising it as buyer to collect. And although there were plenty of bidders, eBay pulled the plug.
Yo, dude, we're so stupid, dude. We're the dumbest.
I know you want to see
Humans are too
Scatino go
dumb.
to jail, and we'll get to that. But first, we have to talk about someone else. Domnica Samorton.
That was a close one.
There was speculation that she was on the bridge that evening because she was the captain's mistress.
Intense media speculation.
I mean, he's Italian. Like, that's... Yeah. Of course, dude. I'm confused. Like, look, if you're gonna criticize the captain for being a fucking dipshit, that's one thing. If you're gonna criticize him for having a mistress, I mean, you're being Italiophobic. This is a part of the culture. Okay, you are absolutely you're attacking Italian heritage right now, and that's completely unacceptable. That's really fucked up.
Reports that her presence distracted the captain.
They both denied their love for years and maintained that they were just friends. Although she did later admit to the media that she found him handsome. And how could you not?
You so fucking precious when you smile.
But she says there was no romantic link between them.
Some people would like to believe, they want to know I have something with him. It's more interesting. It's like, you know, some spicy in the story.
Miss Samorton also loved the spotlight, however.
Everyone, oh look!
And took several interviews. But as the pressure mounted upon her, she began making ominous threats to Scatino, saying he must confess, and that you have but 1 week to come clean. But things from here get weird.
Spicy.
Samorton is a bit of a wild card. In a subsequent interview, she claimed a helicopter came to the ship well before the other rescue craft to take away a package. Huh? And what was that package? Drugs, apparently. So rumors began that the ship was running narcotics for the mafia. And not without cause. A number of cruise ships, even recently, have been caught trafficking drugs. As an aside, Scatino was tested for drugs immediately after the crash. He tested negative for drugs in his system, but trace amounts of cocaine were found in a hair sample.
Okay, again, you know, attack the man for things that do not pertain to his culture and his heritage. I'm sorry. This is inappropriate. I draw the line here, okay? What did I say? What's next? Are you going to get mad at him for eating pasta? I mean, this is doing cocaine, sometimes trafficking the cocaine that you're doing, and, you know, banging other people's wives is a part of the culture, okay? Berlusconi, I rest my case.
It's smoother and less dry.
Nonetheless, the Concordia was searched and no drugs were reportedly ever found. How did we get here? Oh right, a helicopter. Samorton commented on it again the next day and said, actually, that helicopter was just for the captain as a means of evacuation from the ship. Okay.
But they didn't have...
Okay, wait. So she expected to get some sort of first-class rescue while everyone else was still stuck on the ship? Wait, how did we get here? Oh, right, sex with the captain. Divers were quick to head to the captain's cabin where they found Miss Samorton's lingerie and other articles of clothing as well as a makeup bag. The jig was up, but they continued denying it. Samorton mostly faded from international attention until she was told to appear before the court to present witness testimony.
She was 17? Okay, that's literally Italian heritage. Oh my God, that's Berlusconi to a T. That's Berlusconi. I'm not even kidding. That's literally what Berlusconi did. That is okay. People don't know this, so I'll just show it to you. On. The term bunga bunga is a phrase of uncertain origin and various meanings that dates from 1910, but is closely associated with Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi, who looks literally identical to the sea captain, okay? A century later, the term bunga bunga became popular again as part of the joke on the internet. This joke was then narrated by Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi at his dinner parties. Okay, this expression was then frequently quoted. Da 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 da. Okay, wait, hold on. Why did I just like look that up? Like, why don't we just like fucking? Here you go. An aspiring model and part-time belly dancer claims she witnessed sex orgies at the villa of Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi. Age of consent in Vatican City is like 12. Jesus Christ. Oh, she was 23. Oh, too old. No longer Italian heritage. Never mind. I take it back.
The judge pressed her to be truthful about their relationship, or she would be held in contempt.
You're getting gaslighted by libertarians. She was not 17. No, the girl that the prostitute or the sex worker that Berlusconi had sex with was 17 years old. Yes. Was accused of formerly convicted of paying a 17-year-old Moroccan prostitute, Karima El Maroug, also known by the stage name Ruby Rubacori, Italian for Ruby the Heart Stealer, for sexual services between February and May 2010 when she was under the age of 18. He was found not guilty on appeal. He was found not guilty on appeal also, formerly convicted of malfeasance in office. For the record. They said, hey, listen. They said to him, hey, it's a culture. It's a part of the culture. It's okay. And they let him go. They said to him, come on, it's okay. Prostitution trial, not statutory rape trial. Yes, because he was 19, she was 17. No, he wasn't. He was like 60. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, the court said, that's illegal? I don't understand. Okay. Also, I believe I don't know how it pertains to like professional sex work, but age of consent in Italy is like much lower than America, for the record. I don't know how it works for sex work though, but age of consent is 14. Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, he had charges up to 15 years in prison. Paying for sex with a minor in Italy is punished within a range of 6 months to 3 years imprisonment, while the crime of malfeasance in office is more severely punished from 4 to 12 years imprisonment and is considered a type of extortion committed by a public officer. But I guess he, he was able to get away with it. I don't know. Like in Italy, if he didn't pay for the sex, it's legal if she's 17 and he's like 70. But if he paid for it, then it's illegal. See, neither having sex with a person between the ages of 14 or 17 nor adult prostitution is illegal in Italy, but paying a person under the age of 18 is a crime, punishable by up to 3 years in prison. Italy is very, how you say, libertarian.
Tell me the truth or shut up.
So finally, she admitted it.
Sì, Yes.
Italy does have a close-in range rule where you're 13-year-old, but you can legally consent to partners who are less than 3 years older. They got 13-year-olds legally fucking.
I had a sentimental relationship with the captain.
Stop.
But now, stop asking about my private life.
She was indeed the captain's lover.
What is up, Trouble Alert Nation? Scatino cheated on his wife with C-Mortan. Oh my god!
She and Scatino had been having an affair for several weeks.
So stupid, dude. What a fucking idiotic edit. Oh, that's hilarious, dude. Hey, speaking of fucking Asian consent laws, my god.
She also said that on the night she boarded, she didn't have a ticket.
Ticket, please.
And didn't need to pay because nobody questions you when you're the captain's lover. Naturally, she gave another confusing interview after leaving court.
I want to say that today is the second time I die, because the first time I died in the night of the crash with my psychological brain and problems. And today I died the second time because, of course, people find out something that I try to hide.
Subsequent to the trial...
You know, people actually died, right? Like 33 of them. Kind of a weird fucking thing to say, dude. Holy shit.
She used her fame in Moldova to become a political activist, often appearing on television and radio and in articles covering protests, accompanied by pictures of her being arrested by police.
She's complaining that there aren't enough bins in the area. The police are telling her to calm down and point out that there are bins right there. The crowd standing around is telling police she's allowed to protest here in generally white knighting. She's saying this is normal. Look, trash everywhere. It's normal. Oh my god, dude. Holy fucking shit, dude. This is awesome. This is fucking hilarious. See, this is precisely why. Look at this. You see this? The brazen intellectual. She kind of batty though. Like that's how she's getting away with it, dude.
It was some stuff about victims of violence, women's rights,
girl power,
yada yada yada, and interestingly, part of a push to block the sale of shares of Moldova's train network to Russia.
Sure.
Other than that, I don't really know what she's been up to. Let me just check on her Oh god, not again.
Somebody stop her, dude.
Several civil suits were quickly lodged against Costa Crociere, and their parent company, Carnival Cruises, immediately saw a share drop of 23%.
Don't beat.
Passengers sought compensation for their damaged mental health, lost belongings, and loved ones.
Either they allowed him to divert from his course, or they didn't know where their billion-dollar ship was.
Within a few days, facing financial and media pressure, the CEO attempted to join the bandwagon against the captain and the crew.
That was not the ordinary route that the ship was taking at the time, and was not only taking, but the time the ship.
Like, that guy should go to jail, and not just because of the fucking deaths, but because of his contributions to fucking climate change. You know what I mean? Like, he should be in jail right now. I don't know why he's... Makes no sense to me.
Today,
Junior! Claiming that the ship was not approved to deviate from the route. But that wasn't true. Approval isn't required if the ship is deviating by less than 15 miles, or that it was against company rules. Also untrue, because investigators found that they didn't have any rules about deviating route, and they tacitly encouraged sail-by salutes. Now, in response to the civil suits, Costa Crociere offered passengers 11,000 euros each as compensation.
That's kind of small.
11,000 euros, about $14,000,
What?
is the minimum compensation under international law when a ship is abandoned.
Bro, I fucking hate, dude. Fuck this world, dude. Yo, capitalism is great, though. You know what I mean? It's fucking tight, dude. Hey, here you go. We almost murdered you. Here's $14,000. Oh, were you murdered? Here's $14,000. What's up? What's the problem? $14,000.
This was to reimburse them for their tickets, as well as any costs they accrued in having to unexpectedly travel home early.
And that was supposed to release them from everything and anything that has to do with this accident. I cannot ask for more than this.
A lot of passengers, understandably, were not too happy with this deal, and they refused.
How much would the socialist cruise line give you? Dude, it just would not exist. I don't think it should exist. I think literally, I think that this should not exist. Like, cruise lines should be illegal.
To take the money.
We think the offer is an insult. For what these poor passengers went through, we think that the compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Here, take it. Go ahead.
Compensation being offered is not commensurate.
Later, Costa Crociere would lodge a plea deal with the Tuscany court to pay a €1 million fine to avoid a criminal trial. The judge agrees. Costa Crociere is now off the hook.
What? Dude. Oh my god, dude. Oh my fucking god, dude. Dude, these people they're so powerful. What the fuck? Dude, goddamn, the Italian court system is just like, it's literally dog water, okay? It is like, I can't believe we trivialize and you know, consider like developing nations barbarian, whatever, and say like, oh dude, there's this banana republic. Like, what the fuck is this, dude? This is the pasta republic. 1 million euros, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? It's just so fucked up, dude. It's so fucked up.
Hook
it's
for
insane.
All criminal liability for the whole thing. They washed their hands of the incident and flexed the residual droplets of responsibility onto the faces of 6 staff members. Passengers and relatives of the dead are livid that the company has been able to avoid criminal responsibility.
Offered is not commensurate.
Civil suits against the company continue. By the way, the residents of the island of Giglio also banded together and sought damages. They didn't get much. Eventually, passengers who refused the initial compensation of $11,000 joined civil parties against Scatino in his trial in 2015.
Is not commensurate.
They were awarded €30,000 each. Other cases, especially those involving lost relatives, are settled for undisclosed amounts.
It's still dog shit. If they had stood by, like, and many people did not actually take the 11,000 compensations, they would have been able to bankrupt the company entirely. They would have been able to bankrupt it in its entirety.
New York attorney Peter Renee traveled to Budapest to represent 6 real survivors of the disaster.
At Renee, we personally work on every case.
And we'll work harder than anyone to get you the most money possible in the shortest amount of time.
And while on the job, a 7th case cropped up
via
email. An elderly woman, Alona, said,
"Help me, Mr. Ronai, for I have lost my daughter, Eva, and my 5-year-old granddaughter, Roxana."
So Mr. Renai agreed to speak with her. However, there were some inconsistencies in her story. Neither Eva nor Roxana were on the passenger list. Odd, but Costa is known for having stowaways.
Gotcha, bitch!
Still, Mr. Renai was suspicious. They wouldn't cheaty old Petey, would they? Renai inquired further about why she was on board, especially without a ticket. Ilona said,
"Well, I don't know, but you should ask her boyfriend.
Zolt Horvath.
He'll know all the details."
I'm up all night. I'm going crazy, he said. But Mr. Renai was still suspicious. Because then she asked, "How much money do you think this is worth?" This is a huge red flag, Petey. In 20 years of doing this, you've never had anyone ask about money. Why now? So Mr. Renai hired an investigator and sent photos around of the missing girl. The next day, the phone rang. Oh, hoi hoi. It was the boyfriend again. Look, there's been a bit of a misunderstanding and the child isn't missing at all. Uh-huh. And then he claimed he was confused because he had done too many drugs the night before. Oh. Okay, can I speak to the daughter then? At first, he was refused.
In 2017, Carnival cruise ships emitted alone 10 times more cancer-causing sulfur dioxide than all of Europe's 260 plus million passenger vehicles. Okay, jail. I don't get it. What's the problem? Throw the guy in jail immediately. Like, throw the executives in jail, like, now.
So Renai said that he'd have to file a missing persons report to the police if he couldn't. The boyfriend relented. That night, Renai met with Zolt and brought the police with him. He speaks to the granddaughter and asks her if she's seen Mum. Yeah, I saw her today. Oh, really? Yeah, we went to the park today and we went on the swings. Oh no, the jig was up. So the mum walks into the room sheepishly. It's a miracle! And the story changed again. Okay, I'm not dead, but I did injure my leg when I jumped from the ship. And then I immediately flew back to Budapest. Although don't worry about checking my leg because there are no visible marks or injuries. Oh, Petey, I'm beginning to think they weren't even on the boat. Also, it turns out this lady isn't her mum, it's just a neighbour. Eventually, Renee managed to make the pair confess. And then they said, hey, we haven't done anything wrong. We haven't taken any money. And in the end, it looks like there'll be no criminal punishment for the scam, because Hungary, a former communist country, has no laws against insurance fraud on the books.
The law firm that never sleeps, call 1-800-6647.
Oh, that's a bad idea. Oh, that's a very bad idea.
Mario, would you teach me some Italian?
Authoritarian take. The obvious solution is fund alternative cruise ships, power sources, electric cruise ships that will use less greenhouse gas. Elon could easily do it with a small government investment. I see where you're going with this, and I'll take it one step further. We get Elon Musk to build these lithium batteries, okay? And then we put all the executives in one of the cruise ships. See where I'm going with this? And then, you know, hey, if it turns into a yet another Tesla oopsie on that cruise ship, then who cares? You know, they got to test it out, though. You know, Elon can be on it, too. Elon can be on the ship, too. And then who knows what happens? You know what I mean? Yeah, just let the cruise ship autopilot do the steering.
Oh, of course.
Get back on board, for fuck's sake.
Okay, thanks.
Gregorio De Falco, the naval officer who shouted at Scatino to "Vada a bordo caso," became a bit of a national hero overnight in Italy. He, like the rest of the world, expected Scatino to go down with the ship. And when the captain chickened out, De Falco was there to admonish him. And when he stopped answering the radio, he called him on his cell phone to continue putting him on blast. When the captain first reported just a blackout, De Falco didn't believe the story and immediately began preparing a rescue effort, which likely saved several lives. His actions were applauded by most Italians who were tired of their public servants being corrupt and avoiding responsibility. Accordingly, shirts sporting "Vada a bordo caso" were being printed by the end of the week, others setting it as their phone's ringtone. But then, in September 2014, without warning, De Falco was transferred to an admin role in the Coast Guard.
Hear what I said? He'd been demoted.
De Falco said that he had been passed up for promotion, that he had also not been told which admin office he was even being transferred to, and that it all effectively cancelled 10 years of his career. De Falco was tres furioso, and there was public speculation that it was owing to bad blood between himself and Admiral Delano, his former boss. His status among the public overshadowed his superior in many ways. On the other hand, his boss said, no, it's part of a normal career progression for naval officers and that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, but let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, De Falco said "Buenas noches, ya later" to the Italian Navy to become a politician. In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno.
Uh-oh. What party did he join? No, no, no. Hold on. I don't know. You say? I want to know. Livon? Oh, it's the fucking, it's the, wait, it's the Communist Party. Stop saying the Ravioli Party. But I don't know. Hold on, hold on. What's the name of the fucking guy again?
And that he must show more maturity and professionalism to advance his career. Now, it's hard to know what's true in office politics, so let's leave that alone. And anyway, in 2018, DeFalco said, Buenos...
Bro, you guys suck, dude. Like, y'all actually fucking suck. Oh my god. Sunday chat is just like a different demon, dude. No, he wasn't. He didn't join the Communist Party. He was a member of the left wing of the movement and is considered to be very close to the president of the chamber. Is this centrist party? What is this? Populist, anti-establishment, environmentalist. However, from 2014 to 2019, M5S often supported right-wing policies, especially on immigration. Oh, God. Ugh. New right and right wing despises promotion of policies usually advocated by the Italian left wing, such as citizens' income and green-inspired policies.
Noches, year later, to the Italian Navy to become a politician. In March that year, he was elected to the Italian Senate, serving as a member for Livorno. He still serves there today.
I'm the captain now.
The day after the disaster, Schettino was taken into custody by police and underwent questioning. However, it was clear that this would not be a straightforward investigation. So the judge released him under house arrest at his home in Sorrento, a town in Napoli. By July of that year, the house arrest was relaxed and he was allowed within this general area. While under house arrest, he wrote a book with this journalist from Rai magazine. I have no idea what it says, I don't speak Italian. But goddammit, he must have some kind of charisma going on, because there's been a lot of speculation in the press that he had an affair with her as well.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Hold on, I got it. Not content with abandoning his ship, this dude is determined to abandon his wife as well. So, Schettino and 5 others are facing criminal charges. Straight away, everyone lodges a plea bargain with the court, and all of those plea bargains are accepted, except for Schettino's. And the condition of everyone's reduced sentences are that they must provide witness testimony against Schettino.
He touched me.
Ciro, Jacob, and Silvia were all given suspended sentences.
Throw the book at this motherfucker.
Roberto and Manrico are able to opt for community service or house arrest. Not a bad deal.
A good deal. Good deal.
And that meant that Schettino was now all on his own. Ciro, the first officer, was the first to give his testimony. On the witness stand, he claimed that Schettino was distracted by his mistress and other guests on the bridge.
Oh my God.
That there was confusion over who was in command. Then it was Jacob's turn, and he said Lamau XD because he didn't actually bother with his testimony or his reduced sentence. He just fled the country. It took authorities 12 months to eventually track him down on the outskirts of Jakarta. And when they said, "Oi, we still want that witness testimony," he just scalped again, and he hasn't been found since. After that, Ferrarini gave
He did the fucking race, dude.
his testimony, then
He said, fuck beating a case. Bitch, I'll do the race.
Look, we don't have time to relitigate the whole trial, so let's just go straight to the verdict. Guilty! Schettino was found guilty of multiple manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, abandoning ship, and lying to authorities. He is sentenced to 16 years and 1 month in prison. But wait, there's still the appeal.
That's the wild. Yeah, of course 16 years for murdering 33 people. It's Italy, dude. And I bet his prison is like fucking actually kind of tight too. Like it's probably not like dog shit prison.
The appeals trial begins. And the verdict on the appeal? Surprise! Rejected. So Schettino's lawyers appealed again. And the verdict on the final appeal?
Bro, that is so Italian. Dude, look.
Again. And the verdict on...
Like, this is the most Italian lawyer, dude. Look at this. This is my lawyer, dog. I'm only going to jail for 16 years for murdering 33 people. Like, look at this. Man, I love Italy. Holy shit. Leftist mauling over prison sentence? No, I'm not.
On the final appeal?
Schettino made multiple attempts to secure a plea deal but was denied by the prosecution each time. The prosecution called for Schettino to be sentenced to 26 years in prison, calling the incident a titanic affair.
Oh, okay, I see what you did there.
Schettino was not present. His lawyers stated that he was waiting outside of the jail for the ruling, so that if his plea was rejected, he could immediately start serving his sentence. And with that, 5 years and 4 months after the disaster, he was finally in a cell.
I will not be making any comment.
Oh, that hurt.
What? No.
The salvage operation was enormous. It took over 2 years and cost an estimated $1.2 billion. Beginning in early 2012, they first spent 2 months pumping fuel from the ship's tanks. At the same time, they had to pump seawater in so that the balance wasn't affected and the ship didn't slide around. In early 2013, a platform was built under the ship to prevent it from falling further. Sponsons were then attached to the sides of the ship and cables attached to the underwater platform. The sponsons were then dragged underwater and opened up to allow the ocean to fill them. The ship could then roll over properly. By late 2013, the ship was upright once more.
What?
The sponsons were then attached to the side of the ship to help keep it balanced. It now rested partially above water and crews could walk around safely. By July 2014, the water was removed from the sponsons and compressed air was pumped in to lift the ship. And she was ready to cruise again. This time to a port in Genoa. It was a 4-day towing journey to the docks where a 2-year process of dismantling and recycling would begin. That same weekend of the towing, Schettino was busy. He was the guest of honor at a white party on an island in the Bay of Naples. He appeared on the front page of a local...
Wait, what? Wait. Oh, before he went to prison, he was while under house arrest.
...newspaper, flanked by 2 of Italy's most eligible bachelorettes. Anyway, so these are the things that I remember from the Costa Concordia. That sweet maiden of the sea. And as for you, little fella, well, it's time to return you from whence you came.
Bro, that's 48 minutes, bro.
6 quick things. 1. NordVPN, good product, check them out. Number 2, there's a new video on the second channel. You probably didn't see it because...
Bro, I'm not gonna watch another fucking video, dude. I'm not gonna watch another video tonight that's 48 minutes long. We'll get to it tomorrow. Because I'm tired as fuck. You guys know I was like, dude, you heard me. I was fucking yawning like a motherfucker, dude. You know. You know I'm out, dude. I'm out. I know it's only 7 hours, but I'm hitting that fucking last ad break here. People who are spamming, okay, buddy. No, it's time for me to go to sleep, dude. That's what time it is. You want to know what time it is? It's time for me to go to sleep. That's the time. Okay, no WWE content. I don't want to do this the Korean one because that's like really sad. Okay, I feel like that's just really, really sad. A lot more students died from what I understand.
Stunning lo-fi introduction, starting off the day.
You know?
All the chatter is trickling in. Hostile people.
Anyway, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed that today.
Sunny Los Angeles, California, says Hasan.
Okay, buddy frogs and gaming frog. What happened to 12-hour Hasan? Dude, 12-hour Hasan is gone, okay? I'm 30 years old, man. I can't do 12-hour days every day anymore. I feel like I've spoiled you too much. Or you think that this is like the normal thing. That was 29-year-old Hasan. 30-year-old Hasan, he does like 7 hours every day to 10 hours, 7 to 10, which I think is pretty good, you know? Anyway, folks, tomorrow is Monday and I gotta be well rested for that, you know what I mean? Because you already know what time it is. But on Monday we got news, baby. It's news time. Lots of fucking news, so anyway, I love you all and I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.
3 full fucking years of this, plenty more to go. 90-day fiance talks of champagne bourgeoisie. A Trump rally live reaction, a mass riot in DC. There he is again, Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. There he is again, Hasan is streaming. Hasan is streaming. Reading live stream fail comments, awesome.